Alright, looks like this is working. Sorry I'm late, and I'm going to probably continue being late for a little bit. I've got a lot of stuff that's going on that's going to be keeping me a bit busy for the next little while. But, yeah, I'm not going to worry about it too much in any sort of sense. I'm just going to roll with it and just sort of do whatever I've got time to do. In any event, though, yeah, we're back at this, and we have to still try and find that goddamn Sun Arcana, which we still haven't found yet. Strictly speaking, I probably could just find a different persona to use, but I'm going to try and go for what I'm doing here. So, yeah, that's basically what's up. I was supposed to actually do this in my off time, but like I said, I've actually been really busy the last little while here, so I have not had a chance to do that. And there's a pretty decent chance I'm going to be really busy for the rest of this week as well, so...
Scanning for hostiles.
Yeah, it's pretty like egregious actually how much busy I've got because I'm gonna be stuck doing stuff for like months. So that's all fun.
It's an enemy. Do we attack? Look, there's a shadow.
Okay, trying to see if there were any monad doors here or tougher enemies, but there could be actually still. One more little place to check out. Doesn't look like it. Gold hands also work, if I could find one of those, although we don't have our actual, what's it called, our theurgies to kill gold hand with.
It looks like we can go down here.
I still haven't actually, like, exited this place to actually get the Thunder Whetstone or made into whatever it is I'm supposed to be making. So I don't even have those items yet. But we've got what it takes to build them, so like that's all we really care about. Really hoping I've got enough money on hand for a bunch of fusions, because we're going to need to go through like 20 of them. Alright. I'm still going to play Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane today, but... That reminds me, actually, they also had a sale on, like, Capcom games, so I picked up both the Miles Edgeworth cases as well as the Apollo Justice ones. So I'm going to figure out which of those I'm going to play during my summer vacation. There's a Monad door, okay. I'm thinking it's probably Apollo Justice, since I think it makes most sense to play these based on, like, order of release. That way, like, I'm playing the newest games, the best mechanics, like, best updates and stuff like that, like, last. Because if I play the new games that have better, like, design first, I tend to get mad at the old games for not having the convenience feature. I can just do this. Convenience features of the newer ones. Alright, since I'm only looking to pick up one thing, and I'm only going to get one option at the end of this, I should have actually left it at 2. Apparently, because that, like, gives me the ability to do something different, but... Whatever. Okay, your fire, your ice. Okay, so do I care about leveling anybody right now? I don't think I do. Yeah, sure. Alright. Chuck this over to Metis. Absolutely annihilate this poor sucker. And can you continue on with life? Okay, I'm going to do this just for the sake of getting more theurgy. I don't really care about this. Like, Ken took 50 damage or whatever, that's basically irrelevant. Let's do that. Can I do this? Ooh. Save me a little bit of SP there. Nope. Alright. At least it wasn't the Moon Arcana. I've had like 20 Moon Arcanas throughout this experience, this little sojourn. Pretty sure the actual like best items that you can get out of these. No, that's the fists. That's the thing that you'd be looking to get. So I'm not actually sure how much more stuff you actually get out of the tier 3 version of this, other than an extra Arcana and like more experience points, I guess. But who kind of cares? All right, whatever. I need to double check my roster. Maybe I did get the Sun Arcana. I just wasn't like paying attention. It's been 2 weeks, and maybe I was actually trying to do something else and I just misremembered what I was trying to do here. I don't think that's the case. I'm pretty damn sure that I was looking for the Sun Arcana, and I'm pretty damn sure I did not have it. Okay. Nope, this way. Out of my way, out of my way. Alright. Ooh, okay. Got some suckers here to try and steal stuff off of. What are you guys? Okay, lightning? These things are pretty tough. They might not actually die that quickly. Do this and hope for the SP. I'm not going to get it, but like that's what we're hoping for here. I should probably just put an Invigorate 3 Persona onto Aegis right now. Prize Treasure for Focus. Yeah, that doesn't help with Jack. Alright, this one might die, but the other one will be fine still. It's a lot more damage. Okay. Yeah, kind of figured that those guys weren't going to die there. Okay, who's got Zeo? You. Okay, we'll just do this. Oh, that's hurting. That's hitting way too hard. This guy, I hope this guy survives. This guy better survive this, because it's not charged, so... Perfect, okay. We had just enough on that. We had just not enough on that, whatever you want to think of it as. God damn it. Okay. Let's take that. Oh, I should be taking coins, probably. Oh, I forgot to check the thing there. There's gotta be, like, a thing that tells me what my current friggin'... Like, where do you check what cards you actively have? I don't know. Alright. Not that I remember what the icons look like. I can probably tell what a sun looks like, though. Okay. Well, off we go. Another tough one. Perfect. Should be the same guys. I do have the option of rotating around and then hitting them with our Theurgies, so I'm not completely hooped if I accidentally cause too much damage here, but I'm pretty sure we're in the right ballpark here.
In this situation, I can do this.
Yeah. Do I have an item that gives me Invigorate 3? I'm pretty sure I did. I gave it to Yukari, though. I might switch that out right now. Because Yukari is almost always, like, fine as far as that goes. That's Justice. I don't need that. I instinctively go for stabs because that's, like, what's normally good, but I should really be trying to get a little bit of the money. Just in case. It's almost guaranteed that'll be fine, but that's not actually guaranteed. It's not guaranteed at all. Alright, Yukari. Yeah, that's the one that's got that. Okay, what I probably want on her is all stats plus 7. And then we go for Aegis and we give her... 3 Invigs. Okay. Damn it. Alright, let me get that.
It feels like it's been so long since I've spent this much time with you all.
You've been in the party the entire time. So it's been... You're always here, I don't know.
Shadow spotted. What's the plan?
Yeah, whatever.
Ooh, a treasure chest.
Okay. And if I think I'm busy now, you guys should wait to see how busy I'm going to be come August. It's going to be a nightmare. Alright, what are you guys about here? Light? And you're anything. No, wait, I shouldn't have done that. Shoot. Okay. I have to do this. We'll get to Aegis and then we'll do a Theurgy to end this. Which is kind of a horrific waste, but on the plus side, like, I guess... No, it's just a horrific... There's no positive to this. We'll take a look at what this is again, but I think I saw this before already. Is it just because they both have, like, piercing... Oh, wow, that's a lot of damage. Is it because they both just have piercing weapons? Is, like, that the only reason that those two go together? I don't know. That's so close, but so far away. Let's take this, though. So we don't have that one. The sun is like a star, right? It should count. I shouldn't have to get both. And I mean, realistically, the moon reflects what the sun does, so it's actually also really the same thing, kind of, if you think about it. Alright. In my delusional levels of cope here. Alright. These really are the only things around here, aren't they? I'm still slowly losing SP with Aegis, but it's not anywhere near as bad as the bleed before. I do hope they make another game with Metaphor's combat system. I actually really miss some of the depth that that had over the Persona 1. Okay, Sun, please, no. Okay. I actually really like Hermit, but not really appropriate here.
I'm doing better than ever.
Okay. Pretty decent chance we'll actually get another door opening pretty soon, I think. Maybe not, but I honestly think it's actually pretty likely. Okay. Nope. Okay. No, we don't. Another Monad door. Fantastic. Okay, nope. Not that way. Ooh, that's good though.
Wanna check that chest?
Wait, where's the monad door? Must be down this way?
Look,
This place is huge. What is going on here?
another
Okay,
one.
again, we're gonna just do this. Actually, there is kind of a reason to do the tier 2 so that I could get, like, the, Arcana and the money if I have to, but, like, realistically, it doesn't matter that much.
All right.
Okay, I think we just try to get this over to Metis, and then she just kills all of them.
I've already scanned this.
Oh no, that's fire. Okay, so bludgeoning and fire.
It was hidden all the time.
Holy crap, they're fast.
Please, Maisie.
Okay, so that shouldn't matter right now.
Metis is scared still. Here, someone help him.
I guess it's hypothetically possible for them to actually, like, one-shot her, though, during that. I'm just gonna do this. I don't even think we need to all-out attack these guys, really.
Metis wants an enemy down. Focus.
And then we'll just do this. That should actually kill the one on the right, so that'll probably get us an all-out attack anyway. And it did. Fantastic. Wait, not only am I late because I had a meeting, I actually have to leave early today because I have a meeting. Today is going to be rough. It's not even like the kind of, like, work meeting that I would theoretically maybe get paid for. I don't actually know. I don't have meetings where I work that often.
Appreciate it very much.
Pretty sure I'm getting paid for the ones that I do take, but
All enemies defeated. Good work out there.
alright. Thank you. There we go. Alright. Only took us, like, 2 whole days. Amazing. Alright, let's get that. That's not going to be worth much, but who cares?
Oh, hello.
Alright, that was perfect. Just took us a total of 2.5 hours, 2 hours realistically. That's fine. Alright, let's get out of here and then save before I do something stupid and somehow lose all my progress and lose the Sun Arcana. I think there might have been a teleport to this... I think there was. I can't remember. I can't remember if it was like this floor or it was the previous floor. They all sort of blend together in this place. No, that was the previous floor. Damn. Okay. Alrighty. We've got what we came for. I'm not going to be able to get what I want. I'm going to be like $1 off, and I'm going to have to go back in here and just collect $1. You just watch as it happens. It's going to be great, especially because I have to sort of like half-ass guesses at how to get some of the things that I need to use. So I'm going to be spending money that I shouldn't be spending on things that I don't actually need. It's going to be really good. I'll probably save before I go on a spree of like crafting or fusing, so that if I do run out of money in the middle of trying this, I can try again with like a different combination of things. But yeah, that's basically how things are right now. I'm gonna find out the things I'm looking to get are things that all have very like dedicated combinations that you have to use that I can't get otherwise. It's gonna be not my favorite, but whatever.
Shadow spotted. What's the plan?
Alright. No teleporter. Alright, let's get out of here. Teleporter here? Yes. Guaranteed teleporter. Okay, so we can get anything up to 89. We just need to get an 88. After we fuse this, we have to leave so we can get it all crafted. All our stuff crafted.
Good day. Very well.
In retrospect, I probably should have just, like, gotten everything done and then looked for the Sun Arcana, but how could I have known it was going to take that long?
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
Okay, let's just...
Register
I forgot. Let's register first and then we'll save. Oops. Also, what did we just pick up here? Okinanushi, and Hekken Takari's, and that would get us Guji. I don't really know how important either of those are. Okay, so we fuse them. We've got everything set up, so I don't really have to worry about losing any of the stuff we got in our inventory here. So we'll do a save here. And now we're going to do 2 attempts at... multiple attempts, who knows how many attempts at getting the thing we need here. Alright. So let's just go with Fusion Search. So getting Chiyu would probably actually be a good start here. Sandolphin would also be good, but let's just see here. I don't have any of the... Yeah, I don't have either of the 2 that I actually need here as the end result. So we'll do this one. That guy's pretty rad looking.
Please choose what skills to inherit.
Does this guy have ice? He does not.
It's finally time.
Maybe I'll get lucky and I'll fusion error into having the things I want. Okay, so that gives me access to Alalat from Skathak and Chiyu. I'm still not seeing any of the stuff that I actually need here. But we'll go ahead and get Alalat.
What do you wish to inherit?
Just gonna keep passing down sort of the similar sort of things there. So those 3 are just gonna keep going. We'll add freeze boost because this guy's got ice.
Well.
You know, I can't tell if those things on the iconography on there are something that should be censored, or if it's got like its arms sort of like out at its side, sort of in a weird curled way, where you can like see under its elbows, like in between its elbows like that, or if it's something else. I'm guessing it's something else, but it really does look to me like a little guy just like holding his arms in a funny way, like a chicken. Especially with the beak like that. I don't know. I can see both simultaneously, so... Alright, is all of that? Doesn't look like it. Okay, great. We could get Sandolphin now. We'll just do that.
Please choose what skills to inherit.
Diamond Dust is a thing that I do want to keep pushing along. Megadolone is good. Revolution, Invigorate 3 is good.
Well then.
I guess if I was throwing along Diamond Dust, I should have done Ice Boost, but... I do wish this game like had an in-game chart that showed you how to get like certain results there. Alright, we got access to Addis now, but I think what we're going to have to do at this point in time is actually just grab some stuff here. We'll go ahead and grab this just so that it's on our roster. I don't really care at all what this one has. I'm mostly just getting rid of those 2.
Why, this is exciting, isn't it?
Just going through and getting rid of all of our low levels is something that I think is going to be fine here. Okay, so now we try and do some summoning. Who do I think would it be good here? Do I want... let's do a quick check here.
Which will you choose?
Okay, so we're looking for... Wait, what are they?
It is a special persona you desire.
So we're looking for Satan and Hellel, so we're looking for Judgment and Star. We could also try for, like, Orpheus Telos, which is, like, resistant to everything, but this is actually even harder, I think. Because then I'd have to get, like, Metatron, which is difficult. Okay, so there's Susanoo over here. How much does this cost me?
Persona, yes?
85,000. That is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'm going to get this just so that I might have access to what we need here. Just make him do a little bit of everything sort of thing. Alright, what can you fuse into? I want to see if anything like can turn into Judgment Star and what combination would get me that. That's kind of what I'm looking for here. Okay, so I would need Ashura, which we could get here. I would need Grimmakala, Atavaka, Vishnu, which is a lot. I would need Metatron, which is Uriel, Raphael, and Michael, which is quite a lot. I would need Hellel, and I would need Messiah, and I don't know how to get Messiah. Okay. Okay, so Judgment is over here. I could get Uriel this way, and I could get Ananta.
Are you satisfied with this?
That's that guy. Okay, Susanoo cannot turn into Judgment. He's a fool. Interesting. Moon turn into Hangman or... Yeah, none of these guys combine there. Judgments are always really hard to get, and I don't really know how to, like, combine stuff to get them.
Please take a look.
Alright, let's try... I think if I just keep summoning and, like, mashing together, like, top-level stuff, like that, it's gonna kind of get me closer than anything else I could do.
Please choose the personas you would like to
These are both Ananta. That's not what I want.
Please take a look. So you'll be summoning this very well. It's yours. Now then.
Please choose the personas.
Okay, Magician, Star... We got Hellel.
This persona is powerful. Please choose what skills to inherit.
That's perfect. Okay, so that's one of them. And it's a really nice set of things that we can put on here, kinda. Go with Freeze Boost, maybe? I don't think so. I don't need Megiddo alone, because it's got Morningstar. I might want to even level into Morningstar so I could try to pass that along. That might be good. I'll take this anyway.
It's finally time.
Okay, so I'm going to save because we got one of them. Freeze Boost and Makogon. I'm going to let those change. I don't care about those too much. Divine Judgment, single target boost. We'll see if those end up being good, but I'm not too sure. Okay, so Hellel can turn with Chiyu into Satan, which that actually fixes that. Let's just register real quick. Nope, already did. Okay.
I too. Which will you
Oops.
choose?
This persona is what do you wish to inherit?
Yeah, so we'll end up with Diamond Dust there. The only problem is I do actually want to try passing along Morningstar. So if I did that... Okay, maybe we'll just go level up that first.
Very well.
So this is adding an extra layer of annoyance to what we're doing here. But especially because I can't leave, I have to sort of like level that up while in here. That's gonna suck, but okay, so we're weak to ice, which is not that big of a deal. We've got like nothing really as far as attacks go, but we've got growth 2. I'm gonna add a growth 3 here. Do I actually have a growth 3? I probably don't. Yeah, I've got more growth 2s. Doesn't help at all here. Alright, fine. Okay, so this is not going to be that easy, really. But hopefully we level up relatively quickly with him, because he's like, you know, not that... He's going to be low level, so that'll be helpful. I'm not actually sure this one ability is actually that worth going for, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be.
In this situation,
Actually, doesn't... Lucifer's got, like, Black Serpent, which is already a pretty powerful Megiddo type ability, so maybe I don't need this. I'll get it anyway. I don't know. I think one's AoE, one's not. Which is better? Shoot. I can get red queens now, so I could actually potentially find some really interesting stuff while I'm just fighting regulars up here, too. Mind you, that was, like, no experience points, so that's a bit disappointing. It might be better for me to just fuse things as I have them, instead of trying to get the ability here. I think I'm going to skip out on this, just because I don't want to spend this much time on it. Like, there's benefits to doing it, but, like, eh. So let's try and find our way out of here.
I can take care of this. Leave it to me.
I don't know. If this ends up being, like, a lot more experience points than the other one, then I'll maybe stick to it, but...
What should I do? Unit got an enemy down. Well done. Now, all out attack.
Okay, Midarahen, more experience points. Okay, we'll go with more experience points right now since that's what we're sort of after, but if I'm not getting very much, I'm not going to keep doing this. Ooh, never mind. Okay, never mind. We're getting a lot. That's a huge amount of experience points. Okay, so as long as we can get the Queen of Staves, we're actually good here.
The enemy is wide open. It's a group of 5, but you'll be okay.
Nope.
Summoning.
Thought he might have gotten a crit there.
Pull the trigger. Ice it. Where are you going? Two enemies. Me? I'll leave it to you.
No, not you. Okay.
Keep it going, Lady. Well, it knocked an enemy down.
I don't want to accidentally kill them all with the Kasha Arts, which would probably actually kill them all without me having to, like, finish them off with a all-out attack. They'd just be dead. The problem with Arcana Burst is I can't do the, like, fast thing where I, just take a Hierophant and then leave. Especially because I have to maintain the Sun Arcana for a while. Yeah, I'm getting enough. I'm getting enough here. We should actually be able to level using this strategy. I just have to make sure I'm still getting, like, staves. If I can get, like, face card staves the rest of this run, like, we'll level this up no problem.
Just stay focused. Shadow here.
I'm not allowed into that Monad door because it's been locked, but that's fine.
Yes, we got the advantage. This one.
Lightning. I almost tried to go for the critical. I was just about to, but I'm like, oh no, wait. Okay. Alright, let's chuck that in there, see what that gets us. It's not going to be anything that useful, I don't think. Yeah, that's terribly not useful. That's fine. Can you imagine if you could keep that into the next fight? That would be so good. Alright, so we're not going to get anywhere near as much out of this fight. This is just like the 3 of them, but... maybe we'll see here. I might actually take this guy. Nah, let's just keep going. Because we got what we need for, like, what we're making. That was actually still a decent amount of experience points.
Always give my all for my sister.
It's actually still pretty good. Okay. It's so soothing just fighting regular guys for once for a bit. Unfortunately, I kind of have to, like, fire attack here, but I'm just going to try and use Justice. Got the double criticals. Alright, we're good. I haven't found a teleporter on the way out yet. I'm gonna potentially level this before I even find that. We'll see which happens first. Do I get a teleporter or do I get my level up? Gonna find out this is one of those abilities that doesn't like transfer. And I'll be very sad if that happens. Wait, whoops. Shoot. Okay, never mind. We'll be able to still pass this along, so it doesn't really matter that much, but still. It's like passing it along in sort of like slow, natural way, which does kind of suck, but whatever. Alright. Watch as we miss one of these and I whiff, and that just causes everything to cascade out of control. This is bad. Alright. Even if we do, we'll probably still be able to win the fight, but still. That was a big mistake. Every time I change to a new persona, I forget what it has as abilities. Alright. I knew it had ice something, but it's like ice boost, which doesn't help at all here. Alright, get that. Alrighty. That's pretty good. Say that Hello's level 88 now? Didn't I start off at 82?
We don't need to head back yet, right?
Because what we're doing, I can actually just sort of loop between those floors because the fights are easy. So that's probably what we're going to do here. But at the same time, I also kind of just... Like, when do I get this? What level? I don't know. Okay. Like I said, I'm actually not going to worry about this for now. I'm actually going to, like, because I got the ability to pull another one, so I could level that into later, but this just means I won't be able to pass it, but I think Black Viper is going to be the better... Black Serpent? Black Viper? I can't remember, but I think that's going to be the better option for us anyway. We're still going to be missing out on some, like, really interesting and good abilities that we could be using with these guys here, though, because we're not leveling them.
This would be a wise choice.
This one has resist elements. That doesn't really help us that much, though.
What do you wish to inherit?
This is where Ice Boost becomes quite good. Heat Riser, Revolution, Invigorate 3, single boost.
A new power emerges.
The DLC is very much not worth it unless you're a very specific kind of person. For me, it is because I've played like all the Persona games multiple times each, so I know them really, really well. I still want to play a bit more, so it's worth it for me. But if you haven't played like Persona 4, Persona 4 Golden, if you haven't played like Persona 3, if you haven't played Persona 5 and the DLC for 5, then I would recommend getting those first. And if you still feel like you haven't quite scratched that itch, then I would recommend getting this. But this is clearly like worse than those sort of like other things in my opinion. It's still a good game. I'm still enjoying it, but like it's got some it's deficient in some ways, in that they like just sort of have you going through dungeons and like fighting stuff, which is fine. The story's there, but it's pretty minimal. The character growth is there, but it's pretty minimal compared to like what it really is in the base game. So I'd recommend it very contingently. I should have just done this. I should have done this beforehand. It's fine. It doesn't really matter. Alright. So we got this now. And the important thing about this, no weaknesses. That's all we're really after from this. Is he not the one that gets Black Serpent? Well, he's already got Make It Alone. I guess that's good enough. God, that's a lot. Okay. So let's put Diamond Dust and Cold Boost on him. Did I actually? I think I forgot to put that on him anyway. We'll take Single Target Boost, take Invigorate, Heat Riser, and Revolution.
Well then, shall we begin?
So yeah, in terms of like, am I having fun with this? Yeah, I am. Oh yeah, I'd also say that you should play Metaphor before you play this one. That one's also quite good. I wouldn't recommend like Persona 1 and Persona 2. Those are like very different things, and I can't play them because they're so old, like out of date, that it's hard to go back to those mechanics. But those are not things that I actually want to see lost there. I'm gonna prevent. So, if you haven't played anything other than Persona 3 Reload, you could consider getting it and playing that first off. The reason I would say that you would consider it is that it would give you the ability to sort of experience the game and figure out, like, you would experience the game all the way through the full story, the full characters, and everything like that. And this would mean that you're continually moving forward in terms of quality, because I think Persona 4 is better than Persona 3 by... Like, Persona 3 Reload is, I think, closer to on par with Persona 4, but it still has some of the same flaws that it always had. Persona 5 is a bit better than Persona 4, so they've gotten better as they've made new series. So there is that as well to consider, but... Okay, so I've got access to Armageddon. I'm going to go out and heal and get my items, and then I'm going to go fight death. But, yeah, the reason that you might want to do Persona 3 Reload episode Aegis right now is just because this way you're playing it and you can have fun with it and you're not going to be disappointed going back to it from the other ones that I do think are better games. Yeah, for most people, though, like, I sort of go under the recommendation, assuming they've played quite a bit of the other Persona games. If you haven't played any at all, then sometimes getting the less good experiences out of the way is the way to go. I keep saying this sort of stuff, but, like, don't get it wrong. These are not bad games. They are good, but that's the problem with a series that gets better over time as opposed to all those other games that get, like, worse over time. It's harder to sort of judge when it's one quality or another.
Good to see you.
Okay, we'll sell all the scrap.
I'll take that.
It doesn't really matter. I should be okay for money, because I don't really need too much right now. Might be a good idea for me to try to level up Luce for a little bit, but I probably don't care that much.
What would you like?
But I do need to get some stuff, and I can't remember what I'm making it out of. What do you mean I can't get a lightning glove? I don't have any Nihil white model? Oh my god, what the heck? Oh, where do I get these? I think I have to get them through Monad doors. Oh my god. Okay, well... Shit. Okay, that's also where I'm gonna get the Ring of Darkness, which I need to get. So I need to get 2 Nihil white models. I'm gonna look up where I can get those. I just have to... Yeah, okay. It's an Empyrean, and it's like, okay. Oh, God. Okay. Say, so if you're dead set on playing, like, the whole thing and trying to get the whole experience... what I would personally recommend is to get the DLC and then play that. By the time you finish that, they probably still won't have released Persona 4 Remake. So you might have to play the original Persona 4, which is very good. And then Persona 4 Golden, you'd want to get Persona 4 Golden because it's just like the whole thing anyway. I'm assuming that the remake for 4 will also include that content as well, although they might have that as DLC as well tacked on. So if I was sort of recommending, like, yeah, Persona 3 Reload, then the DLC if you wanted to get the most out of it, and then Persona 4 Golden, and then Persona 5 with the DLC would be probably the best bet. The only problem is, like, Persona 4 is going to get a remake out, like, pretty soon, so it's hard for me to say because I don't know if it's going to be any good or not. It might not be. For all I know, like, maybe they botched Persona 4 remake. So you could wait for it, you could decide not to. That's going to be up to you.
I bet we'll find something good in there.
Honestly, though, I think that Persona 4, out of the base games, probably holds up best. So the reason is that Persona 4, like, Persona 3 is supposed to look like sleek, modern, stylish, and feel very modern and new. So the remake was really warranted. By contrast, Persona 4 is supposed to feel like very small town retro in its sort of execution. So the fact that it looks like an older game, because it is an older game, makes it it fits in better as that sort of thing. So you can play the original, like, release of Persona 4, and it'll still be really good. And then you can go on to Persona 5. Okay, this guy has no weaknesses. I forgot about that. Yeah, it really just sort of depends on what you want to get out of the series. I think that you could totally skip, like, the DLC for this game if you really just want to sort of, like, blitz through just the best of the content, which I think some people want to do. If you really just want to get the highlight reel of Persona, yeah. Yeah, there's the remake coming up pretty soon. I'm not 100% sure exactly when that's going to be out, so yeah, if it wasn't so close to being out, I would absolutely say just definitely play the original release one, but since it is so close, it's a lot harder. You could even, if you really wanted to, you could skip through 4, like past 4, and then play Persona 5 like right off the bat, because they're not really, like, there are connections between the games, there are references to Persona 4 in Persona 5 that will go over your head. But you could sort of just, like, get through that anyway, right? I don't need this. What do I do? I'm gonna do this. That said, though, like, I have played the original release of Persona 3. I played Persona 3 Fez. I played Persona 3 Portable. I played Persona 4, Persona 4 Golden. I played Persona 5, Persona 5 Royale. And then I played the remake. So, I mean, I've basically played every single released iteration of each of the Persona games starting from 3. So, it's a series that's good enough, like, they're semi-connected. They take place in the same world, they make references to each other, but all the characters that you're realistically going to interact with are different. The main cast is all different, the story is different, the enemies are different, the mechanics, everything about it that could be different is pretty different there. But they all make reference to each other to a certain extent. Like, there's recurring characters to a certain extent in the background. They talk about certain things that happen in one game or another. Is this guy gonna start chanting at me? He might start chanting at me. I can't switch to fire here. Let's just do this. The only reason I recommend doing them in order, honestly, is just because of that one element there where you're gonna miss out on some really, really good parts of the games where you're gonna think, like, oh, this game, like, is not very good because it's not as good as, like, Persona 5 Royal, which is probably going to be true for your experience. But like, it's still, just because it's not as good as Persona 5 Royal doesn't mean it's not good. I think that, like, that's part of it. It does depend to a certain degree on, like, what kind of mindset you personally have, though. If you can sort of disconnect that and play an older game that's not as good as a newer one, and appreciate for what it is, then I don't think it matters as much. My recommendation doesn't matter.
It is time.
I'm gonna do this. I forgot. Actually, no. How much is that? 36 SP? Jeez. Let's do it anyway. Man, I've gone through so many homunculi.
What should I do?
I'm gonna hit a charge here. I'll do the next fight with a
Will this work? Just watch.
Theurgy. I also count Metaphor in the same sort of vein, though. Like, I would play that after Persona 5, because I also think Metaphor does some interesting things that are, like, good advancements from the formula past 5, so
Summoning.
there is also that. Okay, we'll just have an opportunity to beat the snot out of this guy now. I can probably actually just beat him to death with our regular attacks here, but I'm gonna do this. Wait for the DLC. Yeah, if you're not, like, dead set on, like, experiencing 100% of it, then that's probably the right call. You have to be, like, a really diehard fan, I feel like, to get the most out of it and get episode Aegis. And then go back to... I would still say recommend going back to this if you are still, like, longing for a little bit more game, though. Especially if you played, like, if you played Persona 3 and then still felt like you didn't know the characters well enough.
Ready to die? Those who hurt my sister. Answer to me.
I have actually seen a new trailer come out pretty recently for Persona 5. I actually wonder if they've been making good or Persona 4 remake. I wonder if they're making good progress on that.
I can do this.
What do I want to do here? Probably just finish him off. The spells I'm using are so expensive.
All enemies defeated. Good work out there.
Okay, you know what? I can just take these, because I don't have to care anymore. Alright. Okay, so I'm looking for a Nihil White something.
Did I do a good job, sister?
Yes. Okay, I need to keep instant heal. That's really important. Takasha is actually still kind of good. I can kind of get rid of Akasha Arts, but it's really strong. I can get rid of Garudine. I haven't used Garudine with her in a while, or when I have used it, I haven't really cared that badly.
Oh, hello.
So resist physical feels like it's probably the right call here. Your favorite was Junpei? Junpei's, like, kind of my least favorite, but I do like him. Well, no, Shinji's my least favorite, because he, like, spends 5 minutes in the game, and then you don't get any more about him. I wish he was in longer, but... I do like all the characters in Persona 3, but, yeah, he's the one that I like the least. That's AS Refined Material, that's wrong. I think the type of chest that I'm supposed to get is this kind here. So what I was looking up when I was looking up where to find the Nihil White whatever, is that you can find them in those striped chests. And what you can do is look for one that's on a floor with a teleporter. And you can sort of take the teleporter, but the thing is, I don't think I can teleport back and forth to the floor in particular. So I would have to wait till it's spawned on the first floor with a teleporter, or be close enough to a teleporter floor that I could get it. Okay, well, if I can just run through the levels, that's actually not that bad, depending on that. But I could also reset the seed by going upstairs, because it doesn't matter. I kind of hate this process. This process sucks. Alright, let's see what kind of treasure chest this one is. Because if I go past it, I can still actually get back to here and then reload. Different kind of treasure chest, so we can just open this fine. I think the gold-colored treasure chests always have materials, and then the core materials are always the stripe chests, so... Yeah, this process is going to be absolutely obnoxious. I'm going to hate this so much. Alright.
I think we're starting to get somewhere.
Alrighty, alrighty.
Sister, an enemy. Oh, a treasure chest.
Okay, nope, that's a green one. Yeah, that's got money. I think those have generic, like, items and money in them.
Sister, an enemy. Oh, a treasure
The annoying thing is, like, the items that I'm looking for are pretty necessary, in my opinion, for fighting death. So... the major problem with this process is I don't really care about fighting death either way.
Teleporter can take us back to Aegis, but I can keep going.
Okay, let's see if we can find it in the last little segment of this place here. Otherwise, we'll just continue on, I guess. But I could also teleport back and then reset the seed. I think that might be the better call. Apparently, the item I'm looking for is incredibly rare. So, the sort of cheaty method of, like, saving just before you pick it up, and then sort of teleporting out is actually probably going to be the way that I have to go about doing this.
Great.
Team is Junpei, Ken, and Aegis. My team in this version is different just because I felt like sort of mixing it up with all characters that I don't normally, or I didn't use, except for Aegis, because Aegis was part of my team in the first one. I was using Yukari, who I still use here, because I think that healers are, like, mandatory. Which you obviously don't, but I do. My team was Mitsuru and Aegis and Yukari. The reason I was using that one is I was hoping to set up, like, freezes so that I could then shatter them with Aegis' strong physical attacks, because she's got that sort of very strong physical set, but she doesn't have, like, Junpei's high critical, but if they're frozen, you get auto criticals. Problem is that everything late game is immune to freeze, so it didn't really work as well as I would like. They still work well, though, because Debilitate's really powerful, and Mitsuru's abilities for debuffing are really, really strong. Yeah, I don't know, I could probably get by with playing with someone else as, like, the healer, but getting my Basudi or
Let's push on.
something to heal feels so useful to me that it's hard for me not to. I probably actually have to run from this guy. He probably actually can fight me. Or will chase me, rather. I haven't seen a single treasure chest that is the right type, and I have not also seen a, Okay, yeah, I'm gonna teleport out of here and reset the seed. This place is actually abysmal. This place is kind of terrible.
A treasure chest.
Use Ken as your healer. Ken's actually a pretty good healer. He doesn't have the status effect heal, though. Okay, this is the type of treasure chest that I'm looking for, so I need to see if there's a teleporter on this floor here. And then I'm going to have to do the obnoxious thing and run all the way back here. There's a monad door as well, so... the problem with the monad door... Okay, you know what? Let's try this. We'll do the monad door first. Oh no, this guy does run from me. Okay. Because if I don't do the monad door now, I'm going to end up with a
That looks like a rare shell.
thing that I'm missing out on here. Yeah, the big thing for me that makes, like, Yukari such a better healer than Ken is, like, partly because she gains back a lot more, or she spends a lot less SP, but more importantly, she has the ability to cure status effects and ailments, whereas Ken has a harder time doing that. This one I'm using, like, Ken, and I'm not using him as a healer at all. I've actually gotten rid of my healing spell for him.
And now,
I think... Oh, no, I do still have it, I guess. I haven't figured out what to replace that with, but yeah, it doesn't really matter if he heals. It's not really that important. I should probably actually have him use Divine Protection or whatever here. Just in case.
now's the time. It won't use.
Ooh, I could actually do a charge here. That's probably what I should do.
This is my resolve.
Debilitate him. The other way that you can sort of do it is you could like use Junpei with Akihiko, and if you can try and get like solid stuns on people, you could then have Junpei get like basically 100% crit rate on pretty much everything.
Take us the best time.
Like that's the other thing that I sort of thought about doing, but I ended up not doing that. Can I just hit this guy, I guess? No, let's actually use Matarakaja.
I'll end this.
There's also a lot of boss fights where I use Ken's ability to just like give everybody the shields. Makes so that they just deflect everything. Thank God I didn't have to use another homunculus. I've been using so many homunculi. I'm just gonna use Tranquility.
Together we can't lose.
That's not true, we could easily lose.
It is time.
I do wish there was an ability, though, that gave you the ability to strip away status effect immunities that enemies have. Because, like, there's too many enemies with status immunity, status effect immunities. Like, I think that that's something that should be less common.
I'm okay.
I can kind of see why they don't let you do that, though, very freely. Because status effects in this game are super strong, like, ridiculously strong, but...
And now, just watch.
Like, if I could get the stun against this guy, it would mean an absolute ton in terms of, like, negating his ability to fight me.
Thank you for your support. What's damage inflicted?
As you can see...
Plexus, you can do this.
Alright, that guy reflects that. Let's pop a Debilitate there. I think that Metis will get her turn before this and she auto-cures herself. Yeah, so it doesn't actually matter in this case, but... do this, I guess? Yeah, I haven't actually got I haven't played a run where I've used Koromaru yet. Koromaru's big thing is I think that he's got really, really, really high speed, so he'll basically go before everything else, which is not necessarily the most important trait in this particular game. Necessarily.
My thing. Thank you very much.
So it does run into that problem slightly.
Detected. Summoning.
Okay, so I can actually just annihilate this guy now with a Theurgy, but I kind of don't want to. Let's just do this. I should actually I should Revolution here. What was it that Koromaru... I think Koromaru's got the ability to damage Spike pretty heavily, if I recall correctly.
Strange.
Well, shit.
My persona's ready. Help us. Call an enemy.
This guy's gonna take me forever to grind down the way that I'm doing this. Oh, there we go. That's also good. Okay. I'm gonna end up with a redundant charge, but... Or redundant buffs, one of the two. Nope, yep, redundant charge, that's fine. The other nice thing about Koromaru, though, is that he does have, like, really good elemental affinities that are kind of, like, awkward otherwise. Similar to Ken. Like, you can use Ken and Koromaru together, and you've got 4 elements out of, like, the entire roster. Which is way better than what, like, you can get otherwise. Right, like, that's a really, really good combination. But basically you're just getting him at that point in time because, like, Ken and Koromaru together can fill in your, like, elementals roster really, really well. It also means you've got piercing and slashing, which matters a little bit, but not a ton, because you'll always have piercing or slashing, one of the two. I didn't get the goddamn crit, damn it. Alright, whatever. But yeah, those two work together for that. If I recall correctly, Koromaru can get, like, charge, though. Yeah, I mean, I also don't really use him, so I don't really know 100%. I'm pretty sure he is good, though, but The other thing, he has really, really, really strong theurgies, if I recall correctly. I'll have to double check what they are exactly, but I remember him having fairly strong theurgies compared to a lot of other people.
What's my next move? What is optimal?
I'm just gonna drop this on these guys. I don't care. Goodbye, my SP.
Victory is
That was worth it. Okay. Okay, precious eggs, sure. Those aren't actually that good, but whatever. Okay. So the one thing that really matters here is the treasure chest over here. Prime Nihil Cloth, that's not the right one. Trying to remember, I think that Koromar also has a relatively good theurgy fill condition, but I can't remember what it is because, like I said, I also don't really use them. Junpei's is probably stronger, honestly, but okay. So I didn't get what I needed here, but if I can find a teleporter on this sort of the next floor, I can do the strategy that I saw someone recommending, which is cheesing it, but we're gonna do that because I don't really like the method that we're trying. I don't like the natural method for getting the stupid item that we're looking for here. It's kind of like stupid how badly this is going here. All right, the grind is unfortunate and I hate it. Okay, this actually has a chance of dropping cloths as well, because it, like, steals the stuff from the floor, so we'll have to chase this one. We'll do the Tartarus search, though. Yeah, after this I'll go and look at Koromaru, and I'll sort of, like, try and remember what makes him good, but I do remember that he's actually okay. I just haven't used him much. The one that I really don't know is Shinji. I don't actually even remember if, like, in my FemMC run way back when, if he survived or not. I don't even know. I don't think he did.
it'd be great if we can
So, very bad reference as far as that goes.
this is my
Final Checkmate is what his name is, alright. Alright, should be able to finish this guy off. Basically just autos, yeah. And I'm not really interested in the shuffle time right now. Oh, I got it anyway, nice. Okay. I don't need that, so we'll just go with the generic XP. I think the generic EXP increase is actually better than that anyway. Alright, did we get the thing? Nope, we got a Prime Nihil ore again. It's unfortunate. Okay. Still, that does get us some information that does potentially... Okay, there is a teleporter here too. Alright, so we got everything we need. I just have to, like, blitz run through, like, 4 floors, I think, on a save. This is gonna be obnoxious as hell. I'm gonna hate this. This is a big floor. They had a lot of stuff to steal here. Okay, let's take a look at Koromaru's stuff here. Also, I have to save here. Okay, so we save. We go check stats. Koromaru. Okay, so his theurgy, the severe dark damage to one foe is not that important. That's just okay. That's normal. But Power Howling, next physical attack will deal more than double the damage for all allies. So he's got the physical version of, like, Yukari's ability. The thing about Power Howling is that you're more likely to be able to get use out of that because everybody has a good physical attack, whereas, like, a couple people don't have good magic attacks. So at the very least, you can get a little bit of utility no matter what your composition is, but it's very, very powerful with certain people. Especially if you combine it with, like, Orgia mode, where you're giving, like, Aegis a charged Orgia mode or something like that. So this, I think, is really, really strong. But Auto Masakunda is kind of okay. You didn't even know he had that. Yeah, he gets that sort of late. That's a secondary theurgy, but he starts off actually no, he starts off with both of them. You probably actually didn't realize because he actually starts with both. You probably didn't like get the notification that he like everyone else has that little cutscene where they unlock the second one. He actually starts with power howling. Um, but yeah, his all he has to do to get like more theurgy progress is pretty easy as well. He just has to have weakness with 3 elements. That's relatively easy, but yeah, obviously you're not going to get that against everything. Um, yeah, his abilities here are like kind of split all over the place here. I think this might be why it's hard to do stuff with him. The thing that I really like is Revolution here. Being able to sort of do that and pull that with the double damage for everybody is actually a really, really good composition. Sort of a bonus there. I do like the fact that he's got like both fire and dark, and they're both like fairly good. And he's also got like the ability to get like a bludgeoning attack on top of his knife attack. So he started with it. Yeah, he actually starts with both his for some reason. So that's probably why you missed it. Yeah, like Ken, if I recall correctly, doesn't have both Thunder Amp and Light Amp. I think he just gets Light Amp. Masakukage is kind of like mediocre, but he does get Debilitate. That's actually I thought he got Heat Riser for some reason. Debilitate's actually really, really strong. He's got like 4 different elements that he can go through, including the physicals. Yeah, so he's got some really key abilities for certain setup, but individually his abilities aren't like super powerful or anything like that. I can see why you'd be like having a bit of a harder time with him. But yeah, I tend to think of him as something that just sort of covers for things where I usually use my primary for that. That's why I don't really use Koromaru like personally too much, but yeah, he's good. He's got like lots of unique abilities there. There's probably some unique items for him as well that only he gets that are like actually really, really strong. But like if you don't want to use Koromaru, like I think that that's absolutely fine. I think that you could easily combine him with Junpei as well. I think he's another person that pairs with Junpei.
We better watch.
Alright, so I just have to run straight through the floors until I get to that place that has that, and if it doesn't have the item I'm looking for, I just reset. So we're save scumming, which I didn't think you could really do in this game, but, you know, oh, well, whatever, you know.
Sister, an enemy.
That's, I think, the other hard thing about Koromaru. Koromaru is 50-50 on physical magic. His magic is, like, boosted, so he's got the amps on it, but he's also got, like, the physical charge from his theurgy, and he's got Revolution. So he is actually running a 50-50 build there, which makes it harder.
It's an enemy. Do we attack?
Sister, an enemy.
Not sure how to build him. I build him for versatility. I want him to be able to hit like all 4 weaknesses. Is how I've been building him, but yeah, you could probably devote him more specifically to like one side or the other of it.
Okay, let's make some
Is this the floor with the thing? No, it's not. Okay. I think I've got like 2 more floors. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna walk past it and I'm gonna be like super mad about that.
That shadow's different.
Okay. I wonder if I have to actually be on the latter half of Empyrean to get this to drop. That would make me so unhappy. That would be very funny, but it would make me very unhappy. Yeah, it should be next floor, I think.
Sister, an enemy.
My understanding is, like, every block has its own set of, like, weapons, not like, or items, not like the physical, like, layout one, but, like, every door has its own sort of things here.
Looks like that one will be tough to beat.
Okay, so this is the chest. If it has the thing that I'm looking for, we can keep it. It does not, so what we're supposed to do here is go system. Apparently the drop rate for this is actually also really bad, so like I'm going to be doing this a bunch. I might switch over to the other game, honestly. I keep saying like I'm going to try and do some of the stuff like on my own time, but I'm really busy right now, so I don't know if I'm going to actually have my own time to do this like faster. Which kind of sucks, but whatever. Okay, let's just blitz it.
Look, there's a shadow.
Gotta go to work now? Yeah. Yeah, no, hope I have a good day too. Yeah, you as well, though. Alright. I actually wonder what the specific, like, percentage drop rate is. Like, I wonder how many times I'm gonna have to do this. The fact that this type of box is actually more rare than I thought it was is also not helping me. Because, like, I thought that these things were actually fairly common, but apparently not. Why am I bothering with these things? Like, I don't really need to destroy these. I will anyway, because I just have to run into them, but if I didn't have that ability to just, like, smash into them by walking into them, like, I would be absolutely not having it.
Let's get going.
Okay, it is that way. Okay.
Shadow here. We better watch our step.
Alrighty. I think it was B5, so I have to run through like 4 whole floors every time I want to get through this. I'm really glad that I don't have to fight anything, though. Like, even the tough guys running from me makes this so much easier. Alright, I'm going to do a total of 3 more tries for this. And if I don't get it, I'm going to call it quits for today. And I'm going to come back to it later. And I'm going to... Oh, no, it's... Yeah, it is B5. Okay, yeah. But yeah, if I don't get it in like 3 tries here from this point forward, I'm gonna call it quits and we're gonna play Attorney the Arcane. That's Prime Nihil Cloth again. That's the wrong one. At least they're dropping these in 2s, so hopefully the other things also dropped in 2s. Okay. Now that I'm actually paying attention to what floor I'm supposed to be looking at, that also helps me.
Sister, an enemy.
Okay. Oh, I'm going the wrong way here.
Shadow spotted. What's the plan?
I'm still actually a little bit at a loss what I want to play after I finish this. Because I don't actually want to jump into Expedition 33 after I finish this. I did pick that up, but like another sort of JRPG style game like right after this is going to be a little bit much for me. So I have to figure out what I want to play after this. That's going to be a thing to think about. Then again, I might actually just like take a hiatus because I'm going to be super busy up until August. But I will be on my vacation as well, so, like, that'll be time where I can do some stuff. I don't know. I might actually also have to be busy during my vacation. That's gonna be something that's kind of suck, but I'll still take the time to play, like, Apollo Justice.
Sister, a shadow. Shadow spotted. What's the plan?
Missed that one, that's okay. I kind of forget if I can go into the options and change the background music. I think I can.
Sister, a shadow.
But I kind of don't really care that much. Because I have it set so low for copyright not triggering, because this game tends to cause that to go off. But I do wonder what the options are, because like Persona 5 actually had some pretty large numbers of options for their background music.
For you, sister.
Yeah, this is the floor. Okay. I'm going to double check as well. If I'm dropping the exact same one every time, then I know they've patched it and they can't do this anymore. But that's a single Prime Nihil Cloth, so it's not actually the same. It's the same item this time, but it's not actually the same amount or anything like that. So I do think it's still randomized. That does make me worried, though, that I get like one white Nihil Cloth, though. I'm starting to really think, though, if like the drop rates of Prime Nihil Cloth are this high, and I could get a black Nihil Cloth as well. My odds of getting the right one are like really, really low. So I could be doing this for like a while. Yeah, this would be like a floor that I normally would go ape on, but because I'm not likely to get to keep it, The fact that I can actually get them to spawn like this, though, is actually kind of interesting.
Look, sister.
But I don't think it's any different than, like, just progressing normally, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Because your odds of getting it by progressing normally are about the same. I don't know. I guess it's nice that you can force it to happen on specific floors, but... I guess, actually, no, that would be really, really useful on a first run-through if you really wanted to cheese it, because then you could, like, guarantee, like, a bunch of floors that you're doing are all gold hand ones. Letting you, like, level up super, super fast, like, early, I guess? Like, you can make it so that you get an all-gold hand run every single time you do a run.
Going.
Or you could get, like, greedy hands if you wanted to do that, I guess. I don't like greedy hands, though, but...
It's an enemy. Do we attack?
It's a shadow. Shadow spotted. What's the plan?
Okay.
Let's get going.
Where'd all the enemies go? No, they're still around here, okay.
Ooh, a treasure.
Position they spawned in was, like, weird that time. Okay, so that's an AS refined material. Okay, so that's... one more. I'm doing one more. That might have actually been the last one, but I'm gonna do one more anyway. Okay, so I have to remember on sign out today. Well, actually, no, it won't matter because I'll be leaving through the
I'm not calling it quits.
other sign there. Okay. Yeah, so if I accidentally save, it won't make a difference. Always miss this turn off. Alright.
Sister, a shadow! Let's get this over with.
Sister, a shadow. Looks like that one will be tough to beat.
Alright. Well, that's another one. Down
I feel a bit
2 more floors, and then we're done. I'm glad the levels don't re-randomize themselves, but it's kind of weird how the treasure chests work. Where they, like, stay open, but they don't, like, randomize the location or the
I
contents.
think we're starting to get somewhere.
Or the type, I mean.
There it is.
Alright. This is one of those sort of moments where, like, literally just hacking the game, cheating, and using a toolbox would come in because, like, holy crap. Is this ever not fun? Alright. This is what you get for trying to, like, beat death or whatever, like, trying to beat the optional bosses. You have to do crap like this, or you don't have to, but, like, this is how I've come up with. Okay, Prime Nile Blade, that's the wrong one. Okay, so we're gonna call it for today. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try to get the time to do this on my own, but, like, there's a very high chance I'm not going to be able to, so we'll have to see. I hope I can do this before Monday, because I would hate to have Monday stream be doing this. That would be garbage. But on the other hand, I do also have to leave early today, so... Okay. Let's swap over. Okay, so hopefully that's working. And hopefully I can figure out which save we were on. I'm pretty sure it's 3-4. Alright. That looks like that's working. That looks like that's working. Alright. So, we're on another case. A person got exploded into a vat by magic. We had to do some guesswork to figure out what's going on there. I don't actually agree entirely with the thing that we ended up going with because I don't think it makes necessarily sense, but um, what the? Knock around at the door linked to Tamora law offices. Rue Tamora let out an irritated grumble. Who the hell is bothering her after hours? I don't know who you think you are, but we... She froze when she saw Frey's son standing at the door. This is Tyrion when he first came to go live with her. His bright blonde hair was covered in dirt and grime. Clothes that she'd seen Frey sew for him were tattered and torn. He looked like he hadn't eaten anything in days. He just stared blankly at her. What? What are you doing here? How did you even get here? I walked. What? We need to call someone. We need to get you back home. There's nothing there for me. This was her fault. If she'd just taken the deal, his mother would still be alive. Are you going to keep fighting the nobility? His words came out weakly. He sounded like a ghost. What? Miss Tora, are you going to keep fighting them? Look, that's not important. We need to get you some help. I want to help you fight them. Tyrion, please, just let me help you. Look, just come inside. We need to get you something to eat. Then we can get you cleaned up. Roy said nothing as he clenched the final message that his mother had left him. It was the last comforting memory I'd ever have of her. It was something that I'd never experienced again. Mom. Okay. Wait, this is the inn from the start of the game where we were at the McCoy's place. It was another nightmare. It'd been a while since I thought about that day. The nightmares were getting worse and worse. I really need to get this case done with as soon as I could. Hey, are you up? Yeah. Felt like I should say something to her after what happened yesterday, but the words didn't come to me. Let's get to work. Yeah. I missed him. We missed him yesterday, but Crown Prince Aster supposedly saw what happened to Justin during the accident. Might have seen something that Rika missed. I have no idea why the Crown Prince helped me back at Von Sanctus Manor, but he seemed more amicable to us than I'd have expected. Is he the murderer? He's the murderer. But finding him in this large city was another matter. I was sure he was hidden away somewhere. There's also something that Steelwind mentioned during the trial. Several years ago, Miss Tudor was part of a band of thieves who had frequently robbed shipments addressed to Von Sanctus Industries. Her group was eventually arrested, and she only avoided a sentence to the dungeons by taking a plea deal. She's coincidentally present when the robbery occurred, and she's a registered mage. Not to mention their little gang all those years ago used that same name. Rika was supposedly part of a band of thieves, and their thefts all those years ago seemed to be similar to that of the Phantom. Okay. Do you think that one of them is involved in all this? I think so, but I don't know why she wouldn't speak up about it if it was related to the case. We'll probably have to talk to her next. Oh, there's Aster. After all, I doubt it would be easy to get an audience with. I think this is just reused assets, but I doubt that we're back in that village, in the little home, hotel that, or whatever. Aster de Weavengard. As we exited our room, we suddenly came face to face with the Crown Prince. We all stood there, stunned. What was he doing staying at a tavern for commoners? Your Highness. Tyrion Cuthbert. You know who I am? That wasn't usually a good sign. I do. I know you very well. Tyrion Cuthbert, the protege of the infamous Ruby Tamora. I'm your biggest fan. Oh no, this is even worse. What? I can't believe it. The infamous Tyrion Cuthbert is standing in front, right in front of my tavern room. What? I've read all about your feats, Mr. Cuthbert. You successfully indicted the head of House Pierce. This is his tavern room? Does he own this tavern? Crown Prince, age 26, Arcane Art Conjuration. You didn't think twice about confronting a member of House Freyga, and you even defeated the Duke of Commerce in the chess tournament yesterday. Is it bad that I've become numb to the surprises of this week? Yes. And you must be Celeste McCoy. You're Tyrion's first client, the Crimson Demon of the Eastern Kingdoms. She's the real McCoy. How do you find out about that name? The Crimson what? Ugh. Anyways, Your Highness, is it true that you witnessed the accident yesterday morning? Yes, I did. Are you going to interrogate me about what I saw? He's getting too into this. I think he thinks that I might do something untowards. I'll answer whatever questions you have. Okay, that's very helpful. That's great. He appears to hate the injustices perpetuated by the nobility as much as I do. I don't know about that. First Lucio Steelwind, now the Crimson Prince, Crown Prince. Why were so many of my supposed enemies being so agreeable this week? Just let out an exasperated sigh. I shouldn't look this gift horse in the mouth. Well, he's a prince, so I don't think it would be a good idea to like open up his mouth and look inside there. That would be interesting. Aster de Weavengard. So, Your Highness, please, no need for that. Just call me Aster. He couldn't be serious, could he? After I got a good look at him, he looked sincere, a little too sincere. He carried himself with the poise of a royal, but there was also warm kindness and humility in his eyes. He sounded too good to be true, but maybe it was just too jaded by the other aristocrats I'd met. What was the Crown Prince doing in a tavern like this anyway? Ah, the King's Yard were being far too overbearing. They were insistent that I return to the capital, but I've been planning this trip to Aranax for days. I found an opportunity to sneak away from them and hired a guide to show me around the city. Are you talking about Noah Morrison? Yes, Mr. Morrison. Tell me quite a lot about the industrial complexities of Aranax and even more about the workers' unions. Is it really okay for you to disappear like that? The Kings are probably freaking out over losing track of you. Ah, they worry far too much. I can take care of myself. I may not look it, but I'm one of the most powerful mages in this kingdom. That sounds awfully cocky, don't you think? You think so? There's so much optimism behind those eyes. How sheltered was this guy? He's a prince, so probably pretty. So, this is Steelwind's fiancé, if I recall correctly. Anyways, Mr. Morrison told us you were present when the accident occurred. Now, it was quite dreadful what happened. We only have one witness who actually saw Justin fall into that vat. I was wondering if you saw anything she didn't. I didn't see much, I'm afraid. It all happened very quickly. If you weren't yelling at that animal, I might not have even noticed him. Animal? There's an animal up on the catwalk too? Obviously, it's a catwalk. There's gotta be cats up there. Looked to be some kind of hairless rodent, but was abnormally large. Are there Skaven in the city? I think he may have been trying to catch it. He even grabbed it at one point. He was facing towards Draken's office when he was yelling at this rodent? I think so. Noah pointed out the office window earlier. It allows Stefanik to oversee the refinery. Okay, so we're looking for transmutation. Do you see anyone else up on the catwalk? No, my view of the catwalk was limited by my position. Alright, so we're looking for someone who does transmutation. We're looking for somebody who had transmuted the box that we saw in our inventory into a thing that they could carry around more easily that was strapped to them with their belts. So there's someone with a VI name. The box is the thing that our friend saw that expanded. That was the diamond shaped thing. A box held up on its corner looks like that diamond, a prism, as it were. Although they describe it as a prism, so that implies glass. I don't know. But maybe if it was in the sort of midst of a transmutation, it would look like that. I would have to figure that out as it goes. They both saw Justin get blasted by some sort of spell that took the shape of an expanding prism. The spell destroyed the guardrail, the catwalk, and pushed Justin into the vat. How come his testimony wasn't taken seriously about that? This whole time I thought Justin had been yelling at the Phantom, but it turned out he was just yelling at a rat. A giant hairless rat. We're talking about Skaven here. It seemed that the only person who spotted the thief that day was Justin. Do you see the moment that Justin fell in? Was he pushed off the catwalk by a spell? I'm not quite sure, but I definitely saw something magical. There was a flash of magical light centered on his position. The magical energy took the shape of a prism before blowing apart the guardrail. Justin lost his balance afterwards and fell into the vat. Do you see what the spell looked like? Do you think you could identify it for us? The problem is that I'm almost sure it wasn't a spell. It was the effect of some sort of artificery. How can you be so sure? It's difficult for someone who's not a mage to understand. When a mage casts a spell, they draw and harness the ether from within their body. Artificery, on the other hand, draws ether from the natural ley lines that run through the ground. I am someone who's practiced arcane magic for my entire life. I've slowly learned how to sense how ether moves around me. You can do that too? I thought I was the only one. Oh, that talent is quite a rarity, even amongst the royal family. I suppose I shouldn't expect anything less from the Crimson Demon. Are you going to cast Explosion for us there, Crimson Demon? Stop calling me that. What spell was cast on Justin? So you could feel the ether was moving towards the source of that spell? Yes, it was quite distinct because of how high up he was. I can sense the ether rising out of the ground to his position on the catwalk. So the guardrail was broken apart by his artificery. Is that why there weren't any traces of magic up there? No, artificery simply replicates the effects of an arcane spell. They leave traces of magic just like spells cast by mages do. That also means our culprit wasn't necessarily a mage. Anyone could have used a device like that. Not necessarily. What do you mean? The amount of ether being drawn was considerable. It was a much higher quantity than what most artificery devices are capable of. Whatever that device was, it was quite advanced and dangerous. Something like that wouldn't be commonly available to the public. The military would definitely have access to a weapon like that, too. I pointed to Lucio Steelman. That just made his actions during the trial all the more bizarre. Unless it's that thing that got stolen in that box that we see that's kind of prism-shaped if you put it on its side. What can you tell me about Grand General Steelwind? Grand General is a difficult man to speak of. In recent days, his name alone carries the weight of 1,000 slaughtered innocents. I take you don't care much for him. Not many do. Even the most heartless monster would see little sense in his bloody conquest of the countryside. I was surprised when he took the stand at the trial yesterday. I'm sure it's just another plot to undermine the other pillar families. I'd really hoped my arranged marriage to Lady Steelwind would sate his thirst for power, but it seems to have just made it worse. Wait, what did you just say? Ah, of course. I suppose most outside the ability wouldn't be aware of it. My father and Grand General have arranged for me to marry... Yeah, I already know that. I mentioned that earlier. What? She never told me she was engaged to the Crown Prince. She said it was Aster. This is Aster. I wouldn't blame her. She's not exactly pleased with our arrangement. That woman despises me. Really? What? Our marriage is purely political, a way to unify the royal family with the upper brass of the military. I admire her desire to bring prosperity to the common folk, but I unfortunately seem to represent everything she hates about this kingdom. She can't even stand speaking to me. Every time I'm around her, she can barely contain her contempt. Oh no. I've made my peace with that. She's always cared more about her duty than anything else. Hey there, Morbits. When I take the throne, I will build her a compassionate kingdom that she can take pride in. Sure. I really wanted to believe him, but I knew better than to trust empty promises like that. I guess only time would tell what kind of ruler he would be. Stolen item. Aster, I've been hearing an awful lot about how the serial robber stole that item from your ship. Ah, that. The Kingsguard have been scrambling around trying to find it. Would you be able to tell me what they stole? I don't know. I'm having a lot of trouble pinning down what the thief was after. If they infiltrated your ship, they're taking a gigantic risk. They wouldn't have done that without a good reason. Saw a bit of my Sins video? Which one? I put out a decent number of Sins videos. They stole several high-capacity arcane crystals to the School of Evocation. Arcane crystals are pretty common, aren't they? They're what draw and provide power to artificery devices. Problem is that they're tuned to Evocation, the most raw and destructive school of magic. Artificery that uses Evocation is heavily supervised by the kingdom, and most devices that use them are extremely weak. Those crystals were a shipment addressed to Von Sanctus Industries. They were meant to be received at port and used to construct weapons for use by the military. So what we're talking about is a giant crystal being used as like a tank or something like that. That sounds rad. I want one. Are these crystals really that valuable? They have a large capacity to channel evocation magic. They're extremely potent at unleashing energy. In the wrong hands, they can produce an explosion with the power to level an entire block of the city. Since when I used to build loads of gas cannons to defend you. Since 1, I mostly use minefields because I'm a tremendous, like, asshole, is the only way to put it. Advent minefields in Sins 1 were really funny, because they had the actual, like, homing property unlike everybody else's. So you couldn't just, like, PE them down as well, or by slowly crawling forward. You actually had to kill them fast enough to not die. I do wish they still had minefields, but I can really see why they don't have those. They were really stupid. There have been mass reports of insurrection here, too. Whether those reports were true or not, my teeth clenched at the thought of what someone might do with those crystals. It's even worse to think of what the Grand General might do to stop that from happening. Okay, I think that answers all my questions. Thank you, Aster. If I recall correctly, didn't the Gauss Cannon in Sins 1 only take up one orbital slot, though? I think they were easier to build in Sins 1. Of course, I'm just happy to help. I was hoping that the Crown Prince had spotted the thief, but all he saw was some hairless rodent. I could just need to look into my other leads and hope that would lead somewhere. Either way, it was time to move somewhere else. Yeah. Okay, let's move to here. We'll talk to our buddy. Stepped through the doors of the cafe and found it completely empty. Rika was sitting near the kitchen, somberly looking out the window. Hey, Rika. Oh, hey, Tyrion. What? No grand declarations from the Dark Lord of Oranax? I'm not really in the mood for that today. I scratched my head and scanned the empty restaurant. I know what to say in these situations. Are you often in these situations? Can we talk? I need some help with the case. Sure. The trial. Very Kafka-esque. I'm sorry about what happened during the trial. I didn't know Steelman would pull your record like that. Sai, I came to help you and Mr. Dracogen. I would have done it again if I had to. I'm really sorry about this. I know it's really none of my business, but I need to know this for the case. Was what Steelman said about you true? Rika, I think the Misbehaving Phantom is the person who hit Justin with that spell yesterday. And it could be someone you used to work with. That's impossible. How can you be so sure? It's just not. Rika, Tyrion, I'm not going to talk about this. I couldn't blame her for being so defensive. I'd be a hypocrite if I did. But I need to know more about these thieves she used to run with. I would need to persuade her she's the only one. After he left, she didn't have any friends. He's the only one. Do I do this now? I need to know more about the people that Mosarika used to run with. I couldn't ignore what Steelman said during the trial. Supposedly the Misweaving Phantom's thefts were similar to the thefts she took part in all those years ago. She's holding something back. I just need to convince her to tell me. Oh, no. Psychological profile is incomplete. Okay, is there anything I can examine here? Yeah, the other thing about the Gauss Defense platform is that the Mason Bolt is not actually my favorite, like, upgrade that they've added to these things. I think the other ones are a little bit stronger. Oh, this is gonna screw me over. Okay. Okay, I was too focused on getting revenge on the nobility, and after a while I just felt like too much time had passed. Yeah, well, you're here now. We should make the most of it. I'm holding you to that adventure after all this is over. Okay, what did that have to do with the evidence I just presented there? I don't think it did. Okay, I don't know what to do here. Because I can't remember. It's been a long time since I had to do this minigame. Okay. Let's just give this a try, I guess. We'll save. Maybe this was actually what I'm supposed to do, and it's like... This might be what I'm supposed to do here. Tyrion, I don't want to talk about this. Can you just let this go? So this is what I mean. Okay. Try to be empathetic here. Nope. What am I supposed to think after all this? Someone killed your friend. Are you seriously not going to tell me what I need to know? Nope. Okay. Yeah, normally there's little hint things that tell us what our mental state is. I know I'm asking a lot, but there's too much at stake here. I need this information when I want to save Drakeage and find out what really happened to Justin. I'm not hiding anything. I don't know who the Misleading Phantom is. Only he was ever good enough to get away with robbing an Imperial ship. What Sealand said about the new thief isn't true, it's just a coincidence. Okay, thought contradicts their claim is this one. I don't think you really believe that. One of the people you used to work with was really good, wasn't he? Only he was ever good enough to successfully rob an Imperial ship. How did you know that? Noct remained concealed from the eye of Horus. Tyrion, don't joke around right now. I'm not. Rika, this person is dangerous. You don't know that. How can you say that? He attacked your friend. I keep telling you, that's not what happened. The Misleading Phantom isn't a threat to anyone. Whoever they are, they're just trying to survive. They didn't kill Justin. They're not dangerous. Nope, that's... I don't actually know what we're doing here. Because the Misleading Phantom stole something important from a ship owned... I don't know if I should be telling you this. He did? He stole several high-capacity arcane crystals. Those crystals would be used to construct an explosive powerful enough to destroy a city block. Why do you think Lucio Stillwind has been blockading the city for the last few days? I know he's trying to do the right thing, but whoever the Phantom is, their actions could be have unimaginable consequences for the city. How can I trust you? What? How can I trust you? You just disappeared into the forest after the execution. I thought you were dead. Then 10 years later, you show up in the paper working for some shady lawyer. Lucio Stillwind saved you at the trial yesterday, and you've been friendly with his daughter. I can't trust you. What am I supposed to think? How am I supposed to trust you? I feel like it would be this one, given the circumstances. I know it changed a lot. Believe me when I say that I want to save you and the city. Please, Rika, I need you to tell me who the serial robber is. I can't defend Drakeage or stop Lucio unless I know that. Okay, I'll trust you. Successfully persuaded Mosrico Tudor. Stories started spreading around after he went missing. People heard about how a single mother was executed while the city watch forced her child to watch. What? Things already weren't great here, but I think that was the tipping point. No one trusted the city watch after that, and the crime in the city slowly got worse and worse. Merchants were constantly getting robbed and attacked one by one. They started pulling out of the city. It wasn't long before the only person who could do business here was the Duke of Commerce, the one merchant with enough armed forces to protect his goods. Jobs became scarce, and the ones that existed had terrible conditions. A lot of people turned to crime to survive, so a bunch of us at the orphanage decided we might as well ride the wave. Started robbing Von Sanctus' ships. Honestly, it was all Justin. I was just the distraction. Some help from the other orphans, I used my evocation magic to put on an act to spook the guards. While they're chasing us around, Justin would slip into the merchant ship to take what we needed. At first, we only took the food and clothes we needed to survive, but we realized we could actually make a lot of gold by stealing Von Sanctus' goods and selling them on the black market. Justin had a real talent for breaking into the more guarded ships. Who the hell's Justin? He learned a lot about artificery from some of the books we stole, and he learned how to bypass Von Sanctus' security. He'd slip in and out of the ships without being seen or triggering any alarms. They call him Mistweaving Phantom. Did they call him that, or just you? Hey, the titles that I come up with are catchy. Do you remember that name I came up with when we were kids? Yeah, I remember. Not can remain concealed from the eye of Horus. You're the one who came up with that? Interesting. The Mistweaving Phantom. Wait, but for your story, it sounds like... I think Justin was the thief that everyone's talking about. I told you, didn't I? The thief who broke into Mr. Drakengen's office didn't attack Justin. It was Justin. But then who attacked him? I don't know. The victim was the Mistweaving Phantom this entire time? That was the only lead I had to identify the murderer. But if Justin was the one who robbed the office that morning, why would someone attack him? Who else would be up on that catwalk? I got him that job, you know. All those years ago, one of our heist didn't go as planned. We were all arrested. Justin told me to take a plea deal by letting him take the fall. I was scared of losing everything, so I agreed. When he finally got released from the dungeons, I begged Mr. Drakengen to hire him. I thought I could make it up to him, but then I started hearing about all the robberies happening in the harbor. It matched so closely to the reports back then, but I really didn't want to believe it was him. He has a job at the refinery. He didn't have to still survive anymore. But I guess he just couldn't help himself. You were just trying to help him, and now he's dead. False reports. But if Justin was the serial robber, why was he robbing the Union offices? That's right. What? Justin wasn't just robbing the merchant ships this time. He also stole administrative documents from the Union offices. Okay, so what we're going to see here is that, well, he was probably the one who was robbing those ships, because he still probably holds a grudge against Von Sanctus, which, fair enough, I guess. My theory that there were two thieves is probably true, and there was a second one that's been stealing those documents. Why would he do that? I assume that the Mistweaving Phantom was part of a larger plot, and that could still be true. Justin wasn't working alone. He must have been stealing those documents for someone. And whoever that person was, they've been filing those false reports and accusations. So he probably actually got in a scuffle with the person who was stealing the thing from the offices. So he was probably in a fight with the other thief. Maybe his accomplice betrayed him to keep him quiet, or he just robbed an Imperial ship that morning. Rika, do you know who he was working for? Did he say anything to you? He didn't, but I know some people he might have talked to. It was some of the other kids from the orphanage we used to run our robberies with. They always hang around the beach area. They're like playing around the abandoned house there. An abandoned house on the coastline. Are you going to be okay? I can go there if you like. No, it's okay. You've done more than enough. Just be careful around them. They can get in your face sometimes. I looked at my bodyguard and I wasn't too worried. Thanks for being honest with me, Rika. Just don't push yourself too hard, okay? Okay. Is what she said true? Did the City Watch really... Did all that really happen to you? Yeah. I know I've been really pushy lately. No, you've been nothing but kind and patient with me. I'm really sorry I snapped at you yesterday. You were looking out for me. You didn't deserve that. I've just never seen you like this before. I've been really worried. I really thought I moved past all this, but it's like everything that happened is replaying in my head. Do you want to talk about it? Do you want a good therapist? I think I just want to focus on the case. Tyrion, you're not okay. I know, but I have a job to do. I can't afford to fall apart now. We can talk about everything once this is all over. I can handle this until then. Okay, but I'm always here if you need to talk. Thanks. I'm really glad I get to work with you. These cases wouldn't be nearly as bearable if you weren't here with me. Of course. I love doing this job with you. I really hope you know that. For the first time in the last few days, I cracked a smile. Okay, let's get going. It's time to move to the old abandoned house. I do have another place I have to move to first, though. Well, not first necessarily, but I might as well. Wait, what? That's what it is? Oh, shit. Okay, let's get to the town square here. That's just this. Okay. You don't have to push yourself so hard. I need to. I can't afford to fall apart, especially now. Okay, but there's no shame in taking a break. Yeah, the house. Yeah, let's go. Back, move. I didn't actually check here. I should actually... Nothing, okay. Well, most towers use the same architecture, so I don't think it's that strange. No, it looks exactly like the McCoy Tavern. It's uncanny. It's as if whoever made this tavern decided to just reuse the same design. Yeah, they're calling it out. Hey, making unique designs is difficult, Tyrion, and it costs money. Do you really think developers should be spending resources on a location that you'll only see once? I don't know, it just seems kind of lazy. Well, if it bothers you so much, why don't you pay for the assets required to make a new one? I did. I paid for this game, which goes to funding whatever the hell it is they decide to do, which means that, yeah, no, I did pay for it. I decided to drop the matter. Okay, is there anything else going on in here? Nope, that looks like it's everything. Although it didn't change the color of that. We arrived at the old abandoned house. From far away, I could barely already tell it had fallen into a state of disrepair. My mother had always kept her home hidden from the city. I guess she really liked her privacy. It didn't seem like anyone was living there, but the front door was hanging open. Some looters must have gotten to it at some point. Tyrion, are you okay? Yeah, let's look around. I wiped my eyes and began looking around. Suddenly heard the sound of glass breaking. I rushed over to the other side of the house and spotted two young teenagers throwing rocks at it. Shattered maze and window were lying on the ground. Hey, nice one again. That is a look. Gavin Cromwell, occupation none, age 16. That's a 16-year-old? What the hell? A local punk who likes to stir up trouble. I remember him from when I used to live here. It seems not a lot has changed. One of the team is apparently named Gavin, noticed us approaching. What? We got company. Huh? Age 17. I also remember him. Back then, whenever Gavin was causing trouble, I was never far behind. Seems not a lot has changed there either. I stared blankly at the broken glass lying on the ground. I stood there for a moment. I felt like I wanted to say something, but nothing came out of my mouth. Instead, I found myself storming towards them. Hey, what the hell do you want? What the hell? Before I even realized what I was doing, I threw a punch straight into Gavin's face. My eyes were slowly tearing up. I was seeing red. Grabbed Gavin by the collar and lifted him off the ground. Get the hell away from my house. Tyrion. Oh, you want to go? Half came looking for trouble, you sure found it. Okay, let's all calm down and stay out of this, you little shit. Comments over my rage immediately. Stepped away from the inevitable bloodbath. He's like, oh yeah, they're actually gonna die. Excuse me? What? You got cotton in your ears or something? Yes, actually. Why don't you go and repeat what you said? I said stay out of this. Oh, what the heck? It's 5 minutes later. Now we have another murder to solve. Who could have possibly killed these two poor, young, promising men? Celeste? Yes, I'm sorry for losing my temper back there. I didn't mean to drag you into this. It's okay, you're going through a lot right now. Celeste? Yes? I think you might have overdone it a bit. Nah. Celeste? Yes? I don't think he's breathing. Just give him a second. The very bruised and broken form of Gavin began sputtering and wheezing as he regained consciousness. See, he's perfectly fine. Ag. You're fine. Wyatt jumped when our attention turned to him. His legs were trembling, but he was too frozen by fear to run away. Don't bother running. Even with a head start, I'll catch up to you. Eep. Anyways, these two are probably just Justin's former delinquent friends, right? Are you okay with talking to them? Yes, of course. My emotions were a mess. I completely forgotten why we came here in the first place. Would you two happen to know the young man who died at the refinery yesterday? Would you like to join him? These guys are after Justin? He's already dead, ain't he? After Justin? Did Wyatt think we were sent here on someone else's behalf? It might not hurt to play the part to get the information we needed. Don't worry, we're not going to hurt you. We're not going to hurt you anymore. Unless we want to. We'd just like to ask you a few questions about Justin. Yeah, sure, man. Whatever you want. Alright, you two talk. Gavin's shoulder is bent at a weird angle. I might need to pop his shoulder back into place. Great. It's a little distracting how nonchalantly she could say things like that. Can you tell me about Justin Way? According to a witness he spoke to, you two seem to be friends. Friends is kind of pushing it. We used to hang out back in the day, but we don't know more. Well, he's dead now, so is that why? It's weird when he started talking to us again. I thought he left for good. But he started talking again. Why? They already know? We didn't go looking for him. He just showed up here. He said he needed to stay at the hideout for a while. Cursed under my breath. I couldn't believe these people are living in my house. You know he's dead, right? You don't exactly need to go looking for him. They're still trying to collect on his debts. Justin had some debts. Who are they to? White apparently thought they were sent on behalf of someone. What I'd seen, Justin apparently owed a debt to this person. If this person was some kind of criminal, could they have been his accomplice in the robberies? Did Justin tell you who he owed his debt to? Nah, man, he didn't say nothing. They might whack me too if I tell them the truth. So he did know. There's no point in playing dumb. Just tell us what he told you. Did he give you a name? Answer the question. The Eye Taker. He owed gold to the Eye Taker. The Eye Taker? Was that some kind of street name? Sounded familiar for some reason. I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd heard it somewhere before. Is that the one-eyed Morrison or whatever? Or not Morrison? Yeah, maybe Morrison. I can't remember. The Eye Taker. Can you tell me about the Eye Taker? Is this a test or something? Yes. But, well, it ain't a secret. He's the criminal kingpin of this region. Anything that happened here happened under his watch. So Justin had debt to a crime lord. Was that why he returned to a life of crime? How did they get into contact? It was when he was locked up in the dungeons. He made a deal with the Eye Taker's shot caller there. Justin didn't say much about it, but I think he got into something deep while he was serving his time. The Eye Taker bailed him out, but he ran a debt that he collected when he collected when he got out. Knowing how the dungeons were, he might have needed the Eye Taker's protection to survive in there. Justin was a remarkable thief. The Eye Taker must have seen that. I can imagine a number of reasons why a crime lord might want to stir up trouble, but I need something more concrete. He said that Justin was staying in the house. Do you know what he was doing there? I don't know, man. I don't ask nothing. I guess he was back to being the Mistweaver Phantom. Is there anything you can tell me? I don't know. I guess it's some kind of weird that he'd always leave the house but never enter it. What? Gavin said the same thing the other day. We always saw him leave through the front door, but he never saw him enter it. Was Justin sneaking past them? But why would he only do it when he entered the house? Look, that's all I saw. I didn't see the magic cat. I didn't see nothing. Alright, well, about this magic cat that you didn't see. I blanked for a moment and took a slow, deep breath. What do you mean by magic cat? Are they going to off me because I saw it? I had to massage my temples. I felt a migraine coming on. What? Just tell me what you saw. Son of a... I told you to brace yourself. Popping your shoulder back in isn't exactly painless. Alright, fine. I saw the magic cat, okay? What magic cat? I saw it walk into the house last week. It looked gross, so I peeked in to see what it was doing. And I saw it. I saw that cat put something in that box using magic. That stuff was crazy. I still don't believe it. Okay. So the weird hairless rodent was the cat. Probably. And it's probably got that sort of like large crate that we talked about. So there was the migraine. Okay, and what did this cat look like? It didn't have any hair. It kind of looked like a piece of raw meat. Do you seriously expect me to believe he saw a hairless cat casting magic? It was completely... If you weren't yelling at that animal, yeah. There was an animal up on the catwalk too. It looked to be some kind of hairless rodent, but it was abnormally large. He was probably shooing it away. That cat was at the refinery where Justin died. That magic cat was at the scene of the murder. Hey Tyrion, I hope the noise wasn't too... Whoa, are you okay? What did you say to him? Yo, I didn't say nothing. Just got like that. Show me this box. Sure, whatever you say, man. So obviously he was just seeing things. Commoners mistook natural phenomena for magic all the time. He probably thought he saw a magic spell, and the cat was happened to be there. I was under a lot of stress. I almost let myself believe it was Watt's story. You should believe it. It's honestly kind of funny when I thought about it. There's no way this magic cat created... Might not be a migraine. It might just be an aneurysm. Huh. Looks a lot more busted up than I remember. Walked up to the metal container and tried to open it. The lock was broken, but the metal's so bent that the chest was stuck closed. Celeste? Spotted something lodged in the metal crevice of the chest. Violetta. Okay. So that's one of those two twins. I think. Celeste, please scan the room for magical traces. Focus on the middle box. Okay. Oh, wow. There's traces of conjuration all over this metal chest. Cool, cool. Picture of my old house. There's a large dented metal container. It's stuck shut. There are traces of conjuration magic all over it. Took a picture of the scene with my runestone before slumping towards the ground. Just lay on the floor, motionless. Tyrion? Magic cat cast a spell on the magic box. The magic cat cast a spell on the magic box. So, we cool? Yes, Wyatt, we cool. Cool. Wyatt slowly back to the house, puzzled by everything. Tyrion, are you okay? I responded to something between a groan and a sob. Okay, you need a break. Let's get you out of here. She lifted me with one arm and began carrying me out of the house like a sack of grain. I'd normally checked, but at this point, my spirit had surrendered to whatever was happening. Okay, I need to check something. She brought me to the nearby harbor and placed me on a bench overlooking the ocean. There you go, just breathe and take in that ocean breeze, that nasty, nasty seaweed decomposing death smell of the ocean breeze. I just murmured something incoherent in response, but I admit the air was nice here. It brought me back to happier memories. Closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Oh my god. It was probably nothing. It's so cute. Hi there. See, she probably saw a cute animal on the docks. Her voice seemed to rise an octave higher. It was rare. She's never really one to fawn over animals. She really only got like that whenever she saw a cat. A cat. A cat. Hi, kitty. Meow. Back, you brute. Away with you. Oh my goodness, look at this tiny little angel. This one recognizes royalty when she sees it. Let's see here. Occupation cat, age 8, arcane art. Question mark. Yeah, no, that's a hairless cat. He looks like he's been defanged. That goddamn cat. Meow. Hey, Celeste, she looks like a stray. She might let you pet her if you give her some food. I'm not a stray, I'm merely independent. I was taking everything I had just to stay calm. I really needed Celeste to leave. You know, they're probably selling some tuna by the fish market nearby. I'm sure she'll appreciate it. I didn't even think of that. I'll be right back. Don't scare her off, okay? Of course. I slowly watched her skip towards the fish market. Blah. I waited long enough to make sure that she was out of earshot. Alright, you little bastard. What do you do to Justin Wayne? Wow, what's this then? That voice. I've only met one other person who could talk to me with me like this. How are you speaking to me right now? It's a rare gift. It's the thoughts of any creature, not just the humans. And for some reason, animals were always able to understand me too. Maybe our understanding their language allowed me to communicate with them properly. If the cat's 8 years old, then we're not talking about Tyrion's mother. Either that or I was finally losing my mind. I honestly wasn't sure at this point. Who are you? Why have you been breaking into my house? That question definitely drew some looks from the people passing by. I've been known by many names, but you can call me Queen, peasant. I can call you roast chicken dinner if I feel like it. Yeah, okay. As for your house, you'll need to be more specific. I break into a lot of people's houses. I was tired and frustrated, but this had to be a blessing in disguise. I, of course, only saw truthful thoughts. Animals couldn't lie to me. And despite how articulate they could sound, they were still simple in comparison to humans. Okay, let's start from the top. Why were you at the refinery yesterday morning? Ah, that building with all those metal constructs? I was keeping watch over that boy. I needed to make sure he completed his task. So he's being hired to do the secondary set of robberies, and he's doing a set of robberies that he actually wants to do, so he's doing both. How'd you know about what this task was? Because I gave it to him. What? I gave him the task to rob those documents from Stefanik Dracogen. But I... what? I just incoherently stammered for a while before clapping my hands together to stop myself. This isn't that peculiar. This is probably a wizard familiar or something like that. I took another long, deep breath. Why would a cat want something as worthless as a few documents? Worthless. I think we both know those documents are quite valuable in the right hands. I told him he could take all the old fool's gold as well, but he left it for some reason. Oh my god, it's such a shame what happened to that boy, but he brought it on to himself. If he had never disobeyed me, he would still be among the living. I felt that migraine returning. Are you saying that you're the one who murdered Justin Wayne? Well, it was my device that pushed him from that platform. What kind of device was it? What did it do exactly? It allowed him to move from one location to another. They were quite instrumental to the jobs he was completing. This flash of magical light centered on his position. It blew apart the guardrail. The problem is that I'm almost sure that it wasn't a spell. It was the effect of some sort of artificery. The device must have been some kind of artificery machine. That at least explains how she was casting magic. He needed to simply follow the plan. Instead, he tried to betray me at the last moment. He even tried to pull me in with him. Luckily, the only thing harmed was my neckband. Wait, your name's Violetta? After he was disposed of, I had to complete the job myself. Luckily, the boy had already unlocked. Sorry, I have to take this. What? She didn't respond. She simply looked up at the sky, distracted. As articulate as she was, her understanding was still limited. I would need to work out what she really meant on her own. It let him move around from one location to another.
Maybe.
Justin Wayne, Queen's device allowed the wearer to teleport? No wonder he'd been so elusive. Security system they bypassed were designed to keep mages from teleporting in, but they didn't stop people from teleporting out. He must have used the skills of the Mistweaver Phantom break-in, and then you use the device to make an instantaneous getaway. But if I want to use this in court, I would need physical evidence. What is the artificery device? There had to be something I could identify as the device. It was the ring. Magical items were more durable and resistant to magical effects. Justin must have been wearing it when he fell into the vat. It dissolved his body, but it couldn't dissolve the magical ring he was wearing. But if he was wearing it when he died, that can only mean one thing. You didn't kill Justin Wayne, did you? No, when did I ever say that? She spoke so articulately that I almost forgot. Animals tend to be extremely literal compared to humans. You said that Justin died because he disobeyed you. What exactly did he do? He used the device when he wasn't supposed to. He didn't disappear like he usually did. Instead, there was an explosion of energy. I was almost caught by it. I barely escaped the blast. Wait, he tried to teleport while he was on the catwalk? Why did he do that? I have no idea. The results speak to how foolish that was. Regardless of why, that must have been the magical effect that the Rika and the Crown Prince saw. They didn't see him getting blasted with a spell. They saw him cast a spell on himself using his ring. But how would that destroy the guardrail? Would the ring malfunction and create a small explosion? No, something like that should still have left traces of magic, and there weren't any on the catwalk. I would need to know exactly what kind of magic the ring could cast. Only the Inquisition had access to mages who could analyze it. I would be showing my hand to steal one, but I didn't have a choice if I wanted to use this in court. She's also, pretty honest, so I might as well. Thank you for answering my questions, Queen, but I have one last question. Who are you really working for? What are you on about? I am the brains of this operation. Do you expect me to believe that you're behind these false reports of insurrection? I don't concern myself with the minutiae of my underlings. All you need to know is that I'll be standing at the top of the city by the end of this. I knew it. She may not have been able to lie, but she was grossly misunderstanding her role in any of this. But someone trained you, didn't they? You know what the objective was. Trained. I'm insulted. I was debriefed. It was quite strange, really. He spoke to me in the same way that you are now. What? In any case, it seems I must be going now. He seems quite anxious about you. Wait, stop. I tried to grab her, but she gracefully leapt over me. She pivoted off my back before landing softly on the bench behind me. Ha! Try again in 10 years, boy. Laughing triumphantly, she scurried away into the city. Oh, come on, I told you not to scare her off. Celeste arrived back, wheeling 10-foot-long tuna in a wheelbarrow. I blinked out at it for a moment before looking back at the city. There were more important things to focus on right now. Whoever was behind this had been speaking to the cat, and they'd been using an ability similar to mine. Was there someone else in Arnax who could use an Eye of Horse? Could also just be like those speak with animal spell sort of thing. If only I caught her before she ran, I might have been able to get more information out of her. Are you okay? There was no helping. I just need to work with the only lead I had. We need to talk to Steelwind. Orm White. Can someone tell me why the mage girl is roasting a giant fish outside? Ignore that, Orm. What did the diviners say? Turns out the kid was right. That ring's artificery and it's pretty sophisticated, too. Its functions got scrambled by the chemicals in that vat, but we were able to figure out that it triggers 2 spells. 2 spells? Yeah, one spell teleports the caster and the other summons a target to their location. Yeah, so it teleported the box towards them. Why did he do that? Okay. Unless the caster teleports to any position within 100 miles, the caster targets a spell focus or magic circle size trees, blah, 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 blah. If you have a preferred spot, the range is unlimited. If the position that the caster tries to teleport is occupied with any physical object, they might briefly appear in that position before the spell fails. Okay, so what we're seeing is the box tried to appear on top of them, and the spell failed as a result of being like overlapped with stuff. Yeah, summon, same thing here. Allows the caster to summon an object to a position within 15 feet of them. The target object must be attuned to the caster magic using a spell focus. If the target position is occupied by any physical object, the summoned object may briefly appear at that position before the spell fails. This is what they were trying to do. It's kind of weird, honestly. Artificery fitted into a ring usually only has one function. Why is that? Unlike spells cast by mage, Artificery can't intuitively choose which spell to cast. Usually a device with multiple spells will have some kind of switch or multiple buttons. What about our runestones? They project a visual interface for us to use. Yes, but a system as sophisticated as this wouldn't fit on a ring like this. Either way, Justin must have been using the ring to teleport away from his crimes. But what was the function of the second spell? Do you know what target the summoning spell is linked to? No idea. It wasn't physically damaged, but the magic's too disrupted. It's been fading since the accident too. We're lucky that we could even identify the spells at all. So the reason that this would be useful for like thefts is that you could pre-mark like a box or something like that, and then call it to you at a safe place, and people would be none the wiser that you'd already like called it to you as a sort of thing that you could steal like really, really easily. Because you wouldn't even have to break in and then teleport out at that point in time. You could literally just teleport it to yourself. If the kid had figured this out a day later, it might have been too late. Which raises the question as to how did you figure this out? I talked to a magical cat about it. Mr. Cuthbert, it was my resources that allowed you to analyze the ring in the first place. I believe I deserve to know why. Fair point, but I'll only tell you on one condition. I don't want Masarika Tudor to be implicated in any of the crimes of the Mistweaving Phantom. Fine, but only if she isn't the Phantom herself. She's not. It was Justin Wayne. What? How certain are you of this? I'm fairly sure. It follows everything I've learned so far. The prosecutor cursed under her breath. That only means the location of the Crown Prince's cargo has been lost with them. Oh, speak of the devil. From behind Steelwind, the Crown Prince began approaching us eagerly, but he paused when he noticed her. Oh, okay, I know it's me, but I can't eat this much fish by... Oh, Celeste Rose saw the Crown Prince approaching Steelwind. I hope Celeste offers him some fish. That would be very funny. The Crown Prince had told us earlier how much Steelwind hated him. The prosecutor raised an eyebrow at all of us. She probably saw the looks on our faces. What are you looking at? She slowly turned her head before completely whipping around at the sight of the Crown Prince. Why is he here? Oh, she's a Sundari. Your Highness. What? The last thing I want to do is disturb you during your work, but I want to see you. Oh, okay. I looked over the commander. He looked like he wanted to pull out a bag of popcorn. I want to apologize to you in person. I can't believe they're pulling you into this nonsense with the arcane crystals. No, it's my duty as your queen. Sorry, I meant wife. Fiancé? Oh boy. I can't believe they're stirring up so much trouble over this. How difficult is it to find one giant chest? Wait a minute. Where's the Crown Prince's stolen cargo? It's in my house. Giant chest you mentioned didn't look like this, did it? No, it was definitely made from a different material, and it wasn't nearly so damaged, although this chest is suspiciously large. Do you know what was inside it? No, it was too indented we couldn't open it. That might be worth looking into. There's an old abandoned house near the forest along the ocean side. You'll find it there. Orm, since you clearly have so much time to stand around gawking, you'll be personally responsible for looking into the suspicious container. And she's back. What was that? Nothing. Thank you so much, Lady Sealwind. I already know you're busy with Von Sanctus's trial. Oh, well, the stolen shipment is related to the trial. What? Oh, I meant... Are you okay? The Crown Prince stepped closer to her, a concerned look on his face. Is it just me, or is it absurdly hot in here? Really? I don't feel anything. Although your face is looking a little flushed right now. Oh, Scaled Lord, no. It's fine, really. You look as beautiful as always. Ah! Oops, I hit the wrong button. I'm going to get some, water? Yes. She's thirsty, huh? Stonewall was, the prosecutor nearly walked into a pool before scurrying away to a nearby washroom. As she left, the Crown Prince exhaled. I'm sorry you two had to see that. What? As I said before, she absolutely detests me. You saw it, didn't you? She could barely look me in the eye. Oh my god. I suppose you missed it. She does tend to be subtle with her feelings. As subtle as a brick to the face. Anyways, I had clear proof that the guardrail broke because of Justin's actions, not Dracogen's negligence. That somehow felt unsatisfying in a way. I still never found out who the Queen was working with. He felt like such a massive piece of the puzzle. It may have been my arrogance, but I never imagined I wouldn't catch him. I could just investigate him after the trial was done, but my resources would be limited as an attorney. Was this really okay? Hey. Hi, I'm just checking in. You look really tired. Sorry. Don't apologize. You've been running yourself ragged since we got up. I guess it is getting late. Let's head back to the room for now. I can work through everything we've learned there. I feel like the red filter is Eris messing with me to a certain degree, but I'm not sure about that. We arrived at the tavern room. The lobby is still packed with people waiting for the blockade to end. Despite myself, the soft mattress of the bed was just too appealing. I could probably work through all of this while lying down. Falls asleep immediately. Soft limbs felt like a cloud trying to engulf me. Ugh, I needed to focus. I couldn't. What was I thinking about again?
What if...
Okay, Alright, well, it would be interesting if they had like 500 sleeps and then you could eventually get to something else, but I fell asleep immediately. Come on, put your backs into it. You can do it, put your back into it. It's pretty stuck. It's stuck pretty tight, sir. We might need a mage to transmute it open. Bah, why use magic when some elbow grease will do the trick? Come on, open, you piece of junk. Isn't that full of, like, nuclear bombs? Ha, didn't I tell you? All it took was a little... Boss? We need to get out of here. What? Everyone get out. We need to get away as far away from this thing as possible. I'm here. What happened? The kid was right. The energy cells were in there. But someone rigged another device to it. It could be a bomb. I'm going to take a look at it. Are you crazy? I just told you it could be a bomb. If it's allowed to detonate, we'll lose any evidence pointing to who did this. Next time, we might not be so fortunate. Then I'll go. Commander, you can't possibly expect me to. Hey, I'm just looking out for myself. There's a long list of people who'd have my head if the future queen get blown up. We'll go together then. What? I just said... With all due respect, Commander, you're not great with artificery. The two of us there will stand a better chance. Compromise is an agreement where neither party is pleased. Ugh, have it your way. Another nightmare overtook my sleep. Clutched the notes tightly in my hand as I read it. I'm sorry, Tyrion. There's so much that I wanted to tell you, so much that I wanted to show you. I'm afraid I was never meant to walk this path with you. This world is bleak, merciless, and unforgiving. But don't let it extinguish the flickering flame I see within you. Use my eyes peer beyond the divine gate just as I once did. Use it to build your own path to happiness. Her eyes? I don't understand. Didn't matter. All I had to do was stop the execution. If I could just distract the knights long enough, I could save her, and then we could run away. I'd have to abandon her home, but there's nothing she couldn't do. I tried to sprint towards the gallows, but a knight grabbed my arm and lifted me back. I wonder what she's accused of doing, and or actually did. Hey kid, you can't cross this point. I tried to break his grip by striking him with my bare fists, just fruitlessly clanging against his plate armor. Hey, stop that. I wasn't doing anything, but I was in a frenzy. I just threw punch after punch. My knuckles were starting to bleed. Having had enough, the knight pinned me to the ground. Damn, kid. Desperate struggled against him to no avail. From this position, I had no choice but to watch what was happening. Wait, stop. Made eye contact with my mother one last time. Her body went limp. I stared blankly at the hanging corpse. No, this isn't... Mom? I held her note tightly in my hands, the paper nearly crumpled in my grip. I felt a comforting yet fleeting warmth from it. I was all alone now. To Tyrion? Celeste? I snapped back awake. It was just another nightmare. It took me a while before I realized the tears were streaming down my face. Quickly tried to bring my sleeve to wipe them away. But I realized that Celeste was firmly gripping my hand. What? Why are you? Sorry. You're flailing around, Brawley. You're kind of shouting in your sleep. You seemed to calm down whenever I held your hand. Oh. So I've been doing that. Oh. Tyrion, are you okay? I know you're not, but it's fine. It's not fine. Does it have something to do with what happened to your mom? For the last 2 nights, you've been calling out for her in your sleep. Please, just talk to me. I didn't have many people in my life after I left Arnax. I only had Miss Tamora, and my mother's death had always weighed heavily on her, too. But Celeste had been here since I started my career. All happened a long time ago. I lived here together with my mother in that old house. She was a merchant and a mage. Your mom was a mage? I guess that gift of magic skipped my generation. I could never use it. About 10 years ago, my mother's business partner was found murdered. And they found traces of magic at the crime scene. They thought that your mom did it. Miss Tamora was my mom's attorney at the time. She did everything she could, but they couldn't find the real killer. I tried to stop her execution, but my voice started breaking. So basically very similar to Celeste's situation, really. I'm sorry, Celeste. What? I was saving people from being killed like my mother was. I thought I'd finally moved on. But back in Ornax, these feelings are just fresh in my mind as they were back then. What was she like? What? What was your mother like? I thought for a moment. She was amazing. She raised me by herself while working as a fortune teller. A fortune teller? I know how it sounds, but she wasn't a scam artist. People would come to her with all sorts of problems. They'd tell her all about their relationship issues, their financial troubles, even their existential crises. By the time she pulled a single tarot card, she already knew exactly what they needed to hear. Tarot readings are funny like that. You can assign any meaning you want to them. Sometimes she'd do them for me too. I always had something on my mind back then. Stupid kid stuff, but she always knew just what to say to make me feel better. It wasn't until years afterwards that I realized she had the Eye of Horus too. I think she always felt bad that she was working all the time. On her days off, she'd always take me out with her. We did at restaurants, we played chess at the dock. She was the one who taught me how to play. Sometimes we'd stay out at night and watch the lights of the city. Those memories are still happy for me, but they remind you of what you lost? Yeah. I still feel like I'm the same powerless kid from 10 years ago. You kinda are. I'm really sorry, Celeste. I know I've been taking that out on you. I get it. I know what it's like to lose something like that. If it weren't for you, I'd still be trapped in that terrible night. You gave me my life back. Celeste slowly clasped my hands within hers. It was warm and comforting. Had this been the warmth I'd been feeling for the last few nights? I know you're dealing with a lot right now, but just let me be here for you. I feel myself dozing off. I had to snap myself awake. Sorry, the last few days have been a lot. It's okay, just rest now. I'll stay with you for as long as you need me to. Doesn't she need sleep at some point? I'm also feeling pretty tired, though. I'll just rest my eyes a bit. Falls asleep as well. For the first time since I arrived in Arnax, I'd finally received a good night's rest. I woke up the next morning feeling well rested, almost too much in a way. The pillows and blankets felt like warm clouds embraced me. I didn't want to leave. Celeste, are you there? A handful of warmth. I feel my heart stop. Celeste? Ugh, what do you want? Her eyes slowly opened. Through half-lit eyes, she scanned her surroundings. We both immediately jumped out of bed. So, you're okay now, right? You seem to be doing better. Yeah, thank you for last night. The word stumble, that was, yeah, that could have been phrased better. I just cleared my throat. But we should get ready for the trial. Yep, the trial, let's go do that. I'd lost a lot of time, but it was my own fault for ignoring my fatigue for so long. I just need to play this by ear. We're gonna get there and find out, like, the prosecutor has been exploded or something like that, so the trial's over or whatever. It's just like, yeah, okay, well, you know. That would be an interesting twist to this case here. Hey, what's up? Something wrong? No, not at all. Yeah, why would anything be wrong? Seems like we both silently agreed to not to acknowledge what had happened. Nothing happened. That was probably making things worse in hindsight. Nothing happened, though. I see. Are you okay? It's just a lot to take in. I would have never guessed that one simple accident would turn into some gigantic conspiracy. And to think Justin was the misleading phantom this entire time. You know about that story? I've picked up some bits and pieces from the residents here and there. It was clearly a dark time for the city from the sounds of it. All the more reason to be grateful for your acquittal. Are you sure you're not getting ahead of yourself? I don't think so. We have proof that Justin destroyed the guardrail using his magic ring. He had nothing to do with what happened. It was really just an accident in every sense. I had to admit that I shared some of Dracogen's uneasiness. The Inquisition and Kingsguard were moving frantically when we left the tavern this morning. I'm sure they had something to do with the stolen cargo, but something seemed off about their movements. It seems like they were mobilizing for more than just a retrieval. I suppose it didn't matter either way. No matter what they had in store, I would have quit Dracogen. Court is now resumed for the trial of Stefanik Dracogen. During our last proceedings, the defense argued that the victim's death was a result of murder, not simple negligence. This was supported by a witness who claimed to have seen a spell cast with the victim before his death. Your Honor, over the last days we've investigated the crime further and new facts have come to light. Nevertheless, I maintain that my client is not to blame for Justin's death. Unfortunately, the blame lies with Justin himself. Is that so? Your Honor, the victim was wearing a magical ring that allowed him to cast conjuration magic. It seems that he entered the refinery in order to steal business documents from my client, and the ring was meant to aid in that. After he had stolen the documents, he activated the ring on the refinery catwalk. It malfunctioned in some way, causing an explosion of spatial energy. That energy is what broke apart the guardrail. Are you trying to say that the victim was the culprit behind the most recent string of robberies? Unfortunately, I am, Your Honor. Is that it, Mr. Cuthbert? What are you talking about, Steelwind? It's obvious that my client didn't have any hand in Justin's death. And do you have any evidence of that? Most Rika tutors saw a magical effect blast the guardrail apart. We've been over this. Mr. Tutor had every reason to lie to lie in her testimony last session. She didn't know about Justin's ring. How could she have known to lie about something like that? You're assuming that she didn't know about it beforehand. The two of them were known friends. It's not impossible that he showed it to her. What about the Crown Prince? He saw the magical effect as well. For obvious reasons, the Crown Prince can't be called to testify in a case of this magnitude. As far as the courts are concerned, you can't use his testimony as evidence. Why not? She's being unreasonably obtuse, even more so than usual. What was she doing? On the subject of the victim, we've also discovered new facts regarding his actions that morning. The prosecution would like to call Lucio Steelwind to the stand. The Grand General. As many of you know, the serial robber stole cargo from an Imperial ship on the morning of the accident. We've since located the cargo, and what we found paints quite a picture of the victim's intentions that day. I see. Bailiff, please escort the Grand General to the stand. Okay, I guess I'll just say it. Witness, please state your name, and... Are you really going to waste my time with that? We all know who I am. Are we... Yes, it's important for the stenographer. It's... Yes, do it. Look, Enough. I'm giving my testimony now. I pity the poor stenographer. Okay, Justin Wayne had been committing a string of robberies in Arnox Harbor, the last of which included an Imperial shipment of high-capacity energy cells. Wei was working with insurrectionists who provided him with an advanced magical ring. He used that ring during his robberies. One of the ring's functions allowed him to teleport himself. The others allowed him to summon an item to him. Do I think the cat works for Eris? I feel like the cat might work for Eris. The other allowed him to summon an item to him. Wei had taken the stolen energy cells and placed a bomb with them. He was going to summon it into the refinery and detonate it. What? There's a bomb inside that thing? Father, by the Scaled Lord, why would you say that? What are you on about? I gave the testimonies you asked. Yes, but I thought you had enough sense to leave certain details out of it. What details? Insurrectionists were planning to bomb the industrial district? How could a commoner brazenly rob an Imperial ship? Is this kingdom really so powerless? That boy was a thief and a terrorist. He deserved what happened to him. Those details. So they really were planning to use those energy cells to make a bomb. That's so lazy. I think they should have tried to build like an airplane or something like that out of it that like could drop lightning or something like that, or you know, create tornadoes. Like, bombs are so boring. I can't believe Justin would agree to do something like this. He worked with people there. Who would have anything to gain from doing something like this? Whatever the Duke's name is. Was Lucio trying to manufacture a catastrophe so they could march his soldiers into Arnax? Probably. No, I need to think through this rationally. Both the Steel ones have been acting strangely. There's something else happening here. I guess it didn't matter. I feel like every time I do anything, he's just going to be completely honest with me. I don't even... Alright, whatever. Justin had been committing a string of robberies in Arnax Harbor, the last of which included Imperial shipment of high-capacity energy cells. I've learned that Justin was quite skilled at breaking into secure places, but I never imagined he'd be able to break into an Imperial ship without getting caught. He shouldn't have, but the men stationed there were negligent, at least the most generous interpretation of what happened. Generous? So you're saying they were in cahoots. Wei was working with insurrectionists who provided him with an advanced magical ring. He then used that ring during his robberies. Do you have any proof to substantiate that claim? What other explanation is there? Well, you might want to stage a catastrophe in the heart of Von Sanctus' territory. That would let you march your soldiers right into the land of one of your rivals. Just name one possible explanation. Mr. Cuthbert. Prosecution does not refute the defense's statements. Thanks, Arya. The prosecution also does not conclude that the victim was part of any insurrectionist group. One of the ring's functions allowed him to teleport himself, the other allowed him to summon an item to him. Could he summon any item he wanted? He would have to affix a specific kind of energy crystal to the object he wanted to summon. Found such a crystal attached to the metal chest containing the bomb. There's no doubt that the ring was set to summon that chest. How can he be so sure? I thought the ring was too damaged by the chemicals to identify that. Luckily, the crystal attached to the bomb was not. We were able to verify its connection to the ring, however disrupted it was. It was clear that he meant to summon that chest into the refinery. It was only out of sheer luck that he died before that could happen. We're lucky he never got the chance to summon that container. The results would have been catastrophic. Why are you so sure that he was planning to target the refinery? He could have been planning to rob my client and place the bomb somewhere else. Arcane refineries such as your client's create volatile yet controlled chemical reactions. Those high-capacity energy cells alone had enough of an explosive field to level a city block. If it detonated near the refinery, the ensuing explosion would have been exponentially larger. That's terrifying. The way the bomb was constructed, it seemed that it was meant to be as destructive as possible. Justin Way could have transported that bomb to his position at any moment. I kind of find it difficult to believe that he'd risk bringing the bomb into the refinery if that weren't his intention. Was Justin really planning to blow up the refinery? I don't know, and it's not as if he can tell us. The cat implies that he was doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing there, so it's very likely that he was not intending to do that there. Still, Lucio's making a lot of assumptions about what happened. Yeah, I guess he's the type of person to jump to conclusions. He could be wrong about a lot of things. So here's my thinking about what's going on here. The large dented metal container, which has traces of conjuration magic over it, means that it has been summoned recently-ish. There was a failure of that because of the guard railings, which caused it to rebound back to its original position. The dents are probably because it was called incorrectly and took damage from that process, hitting the guardrails, as it were. But I don't know if this is the correct place to use this. No, okay. It's not that it's contradictory, but like we have to put up the supposition here. Okay. Okay, so we think that this is probably true. Let's just check something here. We don't have the twins here. That was who Justin Way was. Why did this have a thing that was Violetta? Grand General, the ring allowed the victim to teleport himself and summon objects to him. Do both of these magical effects belong to the School of Conjuration Magic? They do. Yes, they both involve instantaneous. Getting sleepy? Yeah, I'll talk to you later, Morbits. See ya. Then I'm afraid you're wrong about what Justin did that day. He did summon the bomb to the refinery that day. Or at least he attempted to. What are you talking about? The bomb was found in that old abandoned house. Yeah, I mean, yeah, take your time watching it. You're the one who alerted us to that. That may be. We identified what were traces of conjuration magic on that box. Justin's ring was damaged in the accident. It couldn't have been activated at any point after he died. He must have attempted to summon the bomb that morning. Justin could have simply summoned the box to the abandoned house before he planted it at the refinery. I have a witness who can confirm that the metal chest has been in the abandoned house since the night before the accident. That must have been teleported in preparation for the bombing. No one knew about that house other than the victim and a few delinquent steelwind. They wouldn't be careless to move around a dangerous bomb without a good reason. If it had been summoned, why was it at the abandoned house instead of the refinery? Okay, so we know the information here. Yeah, see it. The bomb... Ring was activated. Teleportation failed. Oh, summoning spell. Because the summoning spell ultimately failed. He tried to summon that large chest in the castle, but there wasn't enough room. The spell failed, and the resulting spatial shunting damaged the chest and blew apart the guardrail. You contradict yourself, Mr. Cuthbert. And how's that? Your entire defense is based on the testimony of Mosuriko Tudor. I was looking for him and spotted him on the catwalk. He looked like he was talking to someone. That's when I saw a flash of magic light. Justin got blasted with a spell. He ripped apart the guardrail he was leaning on and he fell into that vat of chemicals. She thought the victim had been blasted with a spell. If what you're saying is true, then that would imply that Justin summoned this chest right onto his location. It is possible that Mosuriko was mistaken about that one detail. Your entire case is predicated on her testimony. If even you don't have confidence in her testimony, I don't think you have much of a case. No, let's assume that Justin did summon the chest at his location. That also contradicts Miss Tudor's testimony. No, it doesn't. Summoning the chest at his position wouldn't have inflicted damage on the guardrail. Attempting to summon that large container would inflict damage on him as well. Now, you could argue the spatial shunting was that ultimately pushed the victim off the catwalk. But in our last session, you were adamant that the victim fell in after the rail was destroyed. Yeah, it would happen if it was at an angle. I did say that, but that's also ignoring the fact that Mr. Wayne would have been using the ring for several months. He was master thief and been expertly using that ring to escape the sites of his robberies. He would know the dangers of spatial shunting. She was actually making a lot of great points, but they didn't seem to contradict anything we'd learned so far. Rika seemed so sure of what she saw. The Crown Prince even confirmed it when in what he told us. They both even mentioned a prism-shaped flash of light when the guardrail broke. They had to have seen Justin attempt to summon that metal container. What was going on? I need to think through this rationally and review everything. With all these facts laid out, there had to be an explanation that was consistent with all of them. It was difficult to get into Justin's headspace before the accident happened, but I did know one thing. He used the device when he wasn't supposed to. He didn't disappear like he usually did. Instead, there was an explosion of energy. It was almost caught by it, barely escaped the blast. Wait, he tried to teleport while he was on the catwalk? According to Queen, he activated the ring on the catwalk. How did Justin use the ring when he was on the catwalk? So he seemed to think he was trying to teleport. For what happened afterwards, he probably activated the summoning spell.
What if?
Did he try to do both at the same time? They were both true. Stealing the ring must have been designed to activate the teleportation spell and the summoning spell at the same time. Justin wasn't affected by the spatial shunting because he was being teleported elsewhere. That's an awfully large leap in logic. I doubt you have anything to substantiate it. You said it yourself, didn't you? It's kind of weird, honestly. Artificery fitted into rings usually only has one function. Why is that? Unlike spells cast by a mage, Artificery needs to differentiate which spell to cast. Usually devices with multiple spells will have some kind of switch or multiple buttons. There's no need for the ring to differentiate between which spell to cast. Both spells were linked to each other and they were being activated at the same time. That would explain Miss Tudor's testimony. When the summoning spell failed, his teleportation must have failed as well. He must have tried to catch himself in the guardrail that had been there moments ago, but had been destroyed by that failed summoning. He fell right into the vat. If your theory is true, why would he try to plant the bomb on the catwalk? That would be the worst place to put it. She did have a point there. If Justin had been using the ring to teleport during his thefts, he should have known about spatial shunting. It was obvious that the large metal container wouldn't fit on the catwalk, and Draken's office was close by too. If you want to plant the bomb, closed room would have been far better. Let's see if I can piece this together. Is it this? He was arguing with a cat.
What if? What if?
This isn't really... I'm not 100% sure why he did this where he did it. It feels like it has to do with something... Okay, it's probably him losing something there. I'm gonna try a bunch of different... oops. This one. That. Okay,
What if...
I'm not 100% sure what I'm supposed to be putting in here. I really don't know what we're doing here.
maybe...
He didn't know. The cat was the one who was doing it. He didn't know the ring would summon the bomb to his position. That's ridiculous. How could he possibly not know? He'd been using that ring in his robberies for months. Someone else gave him that ring, Grand General. They could have only told him about the teleportation function, not the summoning function. For whatever reason, he decided to teleport while he was on the catwalk. Queen even said that he activated when he wasn't supposed to. Where was Justin supposed to be when he activated the ring? That must imply that he was expected to activate the ring somewhere else.
What if...
Someone had really wanted to plant an explosive in the refinery. The best place would have been my client's office. Whoever gave Justin that ring expected him to activate the ring while he was in there. He would have teleported away, none the wiser of the fact that he'd switched place with the bomb. But again, he's been using the ring for months. I find it difficult to believe the ring would be summoned function if its only purpose was to summon the bomb. You're right, he must have been summoning something else to each of the places he was robbing. What was Justin summoning to each of the crime scenes? Call sign?
maybe...
Insurrection? All basically the same thing there. He was planting false evidence of treason. What? That's... Some of the crime scenes, the City Watch found chests containing weapons, explosives, and illegal communications. The victims were never the ones who reported the robberies, it was always someone else. At first I thought the serial robber was trying to reveal dissidents, but the opposite was true. Whoever was behind this was using Justin to frame people for treason, and they were targeting members of the workers' unions. So why was he stealing from them, though? Grand General, you knew something was strange, didn't you? That's why you took the victims into protective custody instead of charging them with treason. I don't answer to you, boy. That might as well have been an admission. Either way, it seems like I finally found a proper motive. Someone was paying Justin to plant false evidence on members of the workers' unions. This person was also filing false reports to make it sound like there were tensions between them and the Dracogen. Was the bomb also part of this plot? Were they trying to raise tensions further by causing a catastrophe? Who would benefit from something like that? It couldn't have been Lucio. If it were, he would have simply charged the Union members with treason. Von Sanctus didn't make any sense. No, it could have been Von Sanctus. He might have had something to gain from demonizing the worker unions, but he's the one who would have had the most to lose from the bomb destroying his land. I think he might think that's worth it. Could it be Sybil? I don't know much about her personally. All I knew is that her noble house controlled the judicial and legislative branches. Did she have something to gain from orchestrating this? Probably. No matter who it was, I still didn't have any evidence connecting to the robberies. That's why they had Justin do their dirty work. They did everything they could to cover up their involvement. The only connections I had was Queen. Yep, the mastermind was obviously never considered that someone could talk to her. But according to her, they were also able to talk to her like I could. I doubt that the judge would suspend the trial just so I could try catching a wandering cat. What physical evidence was related to Queen? There had to be something that could tell me who was working with her. Do I have the ability to pick both of these? The leather strap. Justin dropped before he fell into the vat. The Crown Prince mentioned that Justin grabbed the animal before he fell. He needed to simply follow the plan. Instead, he tried to betray me at the last moment. He even tried pulling me in with him. Luckily, the only thing harmed was my neckband. Justin grabbed Queen before he activated the ring. He must have ripped a collar that was around her neck. The strap had the numerals V6 on it. What evidence is related to this leather scrap? Or so I thought, but there's something else I found that changed the meaning of that engraving. Yeah, we already knew that. Etta. This strap of leather has the Etta engraved on it. There are two halves of whole. Wait, is it just Vieta? What the hell kind of name is that? Alright, are we missing a piece in there? Neither of these spelled Queen, but it's possible she responded to a different name. Who said a name with V and Etta in it? Yeah, I did, but I can't remember for sure who said that. God. Okay, I'm gonna have to go through this like one by one kind of thing. But I kind of feel like it might have been Morrison. No, I think it was... Was it Sanctus? God. Was it you? Why not indulge him, Lloyd? He seems harmless. Coraline. Anyways, you're waiting for Violetta to return, aren't you? Von Sanctus is waiting for Violetta. Could that be the name engraved on her collar? But how could he even be involved in this? Even he wouldn't be insane enough to blow up his own city over his feud with Dracogen. No, there had to be something more to this. There's only one way to find out. Your Honor, I believe there's only one person who can truly tell us the state of insurrection in Arnax, and that's its ruling lord, Lloyd von Sanctus. Lloyd, are you joking? Is something wrong, Grand General? Sigh, it's nothing. Without waiting for the bailiff, the Grand General marched away from the stand and took a seat in the gallery. Alright, Lloyd, I want you to, for the stenographer, the reports, and everyone else in the jury, point to the man in this place who whooped your ass at chess. I don't see why I have to take a stand. Sure, the reports of the city watch should be enough. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't expect you to know much about what goes on in your land. You little brat. I think that Mr. Cuthbert means to say is that you're able to provide more valuable perspective as the city's ruling lord. I'm sure you can understand, seeing as how confusing these reports of insurrection have been. Humph. Very well, I'll tell you exactly what state of insurrection is in my city. Okay. My city watch has been hard at work apprehending these insurrectionists, and we've been doing so with no collateral damage. They've been growing in number, however, no doubt because these unions have been feeding the people's discontent. From what I understand, they're even planning to plant a bomb in the refinery. Thanks, Guild Lord, nobody was hurt. Tensions have been getting worse and worse, and the steel ones have only been feeding the flames. Well, he's obviously wrong. We know that someone is trying to frame the unions. Yeah, but we don't have any hard evidence to prove it yet. All we can do that... Until we can do that, it's our word against his. If I'm lucky, Swords will give me exactly what I need. Okay. Your city watch? They're my men. They only succeed under my leadership. Clearly. I know something like you can't appreciate what I do for the people, but I should be commended for what I'm doing. I have peacefully coordinated the rest of countless dangerous individuals, and I've done so without any bloodshed. That's more than I can say for any of the other noble houses. He was obviously just stroking his ego, but I couldn't discount the fact that the Arnak City Watch technically answered to him. That would have definitely made these frame jobs easier if you were involved. They've been growing in number, however, no doubt because the unions have been feeding the people's discontent. By feeding discontent, do you mean they were advocating for basic human rights? I'm not in the mood to have this argument with you again, boy. Seem to like evidence so much, so here you have it. Ever since these unions popped up, the number of people being charged with treason has also risen. Yeah, because you made it treason to be any labor union, you know, easy clap. And all those suspects were known members of various workers' unions. Yeah, I wonder why. Say what you want. Your ridiculous conspiracy theories have no place here. We would see about that. Sure, it's a big relief for you, Von Sanctus. You seem to have gotten into your head that I was somehow involved in this plot, but what would I have to gain from something like this? I may not own many of the businesses in Arnax's industrial district, but it is still my land. I would have the most to lose from orchestrating a catastrophe like this. That was still the one element that didn't make sense to me, and he knew that. Was he truly not involved, or was some other reward he would reap from the destruction of the industrial district? Tensions have been getting worse and worse, and the steel ones have only been feeding the flames. I won't deny that, at least in regards to the Grand General, but I doubt some of your standing would honestly care. I resent that remark, boy. You may think that you can fool the gallery, but I know your real opinions. more if the workers' unions encroaching on your business, I bet you wouldn't give a damn about these tensions. Dissonance affects far more than just the commoners, boy. It has vast implications on every aspect of trade throughout the city. Assuming such dissidence actually exists. I've seen it, and I have the trade records to prove it. The so-called Mistweaving Phantom stole several weapons and other dangerous items. We've had to massively restrict all potentially dangerous items coming into the harbor. It's been an absolute headache for our military as well. So at the end of the day, it's all about how it affects trade. You may not understand, but those shipments were integral to upgrading and maintaining our military. A military owned by your enemies. My house may have a rivalry with Steelwinds, but our national defense is integral to Weavengard's continued survival. Lord Von Sanctus, watch your words. You're blind to it, but the other nations will strike us the moment we show any weakness. Von Sanctus, that's enough. We do not need you to stoke panic in the public with inflammatory words. I'm afraid I must agree, Lord Von Sanctus. I don't believe this is relevant to your testimony. Very well. He's just pulling his testimony right out of his... I know, but the only piece of evidence to contradict are testimonies from Dracogen and Mr. Morrison. Will be his word against theirs, and it's obvious who the courts will side with. He's bound to slip up eventually. I bet if you keep him talking, you'll catch him in a lie. So he hasn't lied yet. Oh no, I don't think... Don't we have evidence that was actually, like, someone else doing that lately? Alright, whatever. Von Sanctus, why did you agree to testify today? Why, you wished for me to testify on the state of insurrection Arnax, didn't you? I was merely doing my civic duty. Well, I think you took the stand for another reason. You want to reclaim control of the narrative right in front of the people in the gallery. Think what you will, this is just baseless slander. I must agree, Mr. Cuthbert. Please refrain from insulting the current witness. He took the stand at your request. I guess I can't disagree with that, Your Honor, but the witness made one mistake. He lied in order to perpetuate that narrative. Agreed with that again with that baseless accusation? Von Sanctus, you testified that you'd had to restrict all dangerous items coming into Arnax, but you were the one who ordered those high-capacity energy cells from the Crown Prince. Those same energy cells were used to construct the bomb Justin was supposed to plant at the refinery. How do you know about that? You really don't leave your manner much, do you? I collected statements from the Crown Prince about that shipment. I was even the one that found the bomb before it could set it off. Kind of? Technically, I would put that... Yeah, sure, okay. What? Arya, why wasn't I informed about this? That wasn't directly relevant to your case. I have no doubt that you're restricting trade in an attempt to pretend you were doing something about the thefts and insurrectionists, but you must have ordered those cells from the Crown Prince knowing that it will be difficult for anyone to get this testimony. Luckily, I have a way with people. More like Aster is just a giant fanboy. Regardless, one fact is clear. You didn't just restrict all the items coming into Arnax, you also ignored those restrictions to ship in the dangerous materials used to construct the bomb. So that's your game. I knew you didn't bring me in the stand just to testify. What could possibly lead you to believe that I was involved with that thief? Well, Violetta seems to be very involved with him. I knew it. How did you even... He looked nervously around the room before catching himself. So that... What is it then? Are you going to call my cat on the stand to testify? No, I think he'll do just fine. You little brat. Fine, you want my testimony? I'll tell you exactly what's wrong with your foolish theory. I've said this time and time again. What would I have to gain from blowing up my own land? I would destroy countless factories and refineries. Hundreds of lives would have been lost. Not to mention what that would do to my sanity. It would render me completely powerless. My city would have been left defenseless. I'd be just leaving my land right open for Lucio to march in and maintain order. And there was his final defense, the one argument I didn't have a counter for. No, it doesn't. What he's saying makes a lot of sense. I know, I still don't understand why he would be involved in something like this. He may be petty, but he wouldn't have lasted long in the nobility if he were a complete moron. We wouldn't have done this just to spite Dracogen and the unions. There had to be something else he was trying to accomplish. But what could be worth attacking... what could be worth attacking his land? No matter what he got from it, it couldn't be worth giving up power to Lucio. Something else had to be happening here. Well, so there's a good chance that if you're dead set on the idea that him blowing up all of that stuff and getting rid of, like, the labor movement or whatever is not something that he's capable of doing or would not be beneficial to him, which I do not buy, the thing that he could do, since he knows where that is and where it's planted, we would have to figure out what the triggering device for the explosive actually is supposed to be, in which case he could have the bomb planted, have his city watch come and find it, and then heroically get rid of it, and then blame the guy whose office they found it in, say that was his fault, getting rid of the whole sort of scenario in that sort of case there. Okay. Don't see any reason to entertain this objection. If Mr. Cuthbert wants to waste the court with court silence line of question, I believe we should let him. Let him get it out of the system. Something was strange about the tone of her voice. It was like she was overplaying how she usually spoke during her trials. Was she covering for me? Seeing as how those facilities are no longer owned by you, I don't imagine you seeing that as a loss. Please, I know you wish to paint me as a monster, as you do with every other noble that crosses your path. Do you honestly think I'd sacrifice so many lives without a good reason? Yes. Which implies that there is a reason you might make such a sacrifice. That's... He stopped himself again before drawing in a slow breath. I am not some bloodthirsty maniac. If you want to pursue the nobles with real blood in their hands, perhaps you should look towards the Grand General. Witness, may I remind you that my father is sitting in the gallery? Herc! The Duke practically choked in his own words as his head whipped to look over to the Grand General. He stammered for a bit before he continued. Well, anyways. Not to mention what it would do to my standing. It would render me completely powerless. Are you really telling us the truth? As the Duke of Commerce, I'm sure your holdings extend beyond the city of Aranax. Aranax is our main trading hub with the other nations. Even if I don't personally own most of the facilities in the city, our entire trade network is built upon them. Without those facilities, supply lines would crumble and nationwide manufacturing would grind to a halt. These are all really good points, which raise the question as to why he thought this was worth it. Was he really willing to sacrifice global trade, or did he have something else in mind to stop that from happening? Would that really happen? For some amount of your staff, surely you have your own armed forces. I have access to some armed guards, perhaps, but they exist to carry out the law and protect the city from bandits and thieves. The kingdom would never trust such a small force to protect a city like Aranax, especially after an act of insurrection. So what was his plan then? Was he trying to set the Grand General up for another massacre, or did he have some way to maintain order without the need for Lucio's intervention? That was the last piece I needed to establish his motive. Von Sanctus, can you add what you just said to the testimony? Whatever. It's not as if I have the numbers or manpower required to maintain order in a city under attack. You are the Duke of Commerce. Your gold could buy a lot of things, armed forces included. Yes, but I can't buy trust or loyalty. The kingdom would never abide me hiring mercenaries to protect a key city. Not when we have our own military to do so. Perhaps the kingdom would be persuaded otherwise, considering the news surrounding the Grand General's actions in the countryside. Maybe, but they would never allow me to hire mercenaries based in a town filled with hidden insurrectionists. We'd risk ceding more ground to anyone trying to stage a revolution. Again, everything he was saying was true. Not really, kind of. There had to be a way of explaining to work around that. I mean, we could still actually be barking up the wrong tree. It really doesn't make any sense. He clearly thought this through. He wasn't just being reckless. He's making a lot of good points, which means the real reason has to be something that would circumvent them somehow. He would have ruined industry in Arnax, and he would have invited the Grand General into his territory. He must have had a way to mitigate both those hits to his power, and what he gained would have been worth that. So I wonder what the, bronze and jewels were actually for. It's probably just money in that case, but... What if did I already press here? Yeah, no, this was that one. Okay. I might have to, do this one the slow way. Do we have anything that contradicts the idea that he doesn't have enough people to, withstand an attack there? Like, he's talking about how the City Watch has been doing an expert job, but they're not, like, the sort of tasks that they're talking about are two different sort of things there. So that's plausible, but that could still be what they're trying to get me to say. Which might not make a ton of sense to me, but, like, that might be what they've done. I'm not sure what I'm looking for here. I'm pretty sure it's going to have something to do with this, but... I don't know, I might want to just look this one up here. But, yeah, this one's kind of... The thing that they're trying to ask here is kind of, like, messy. I don't exactly know what they're looking for here. Okay. Apparently I'm supposed to actually bring up this thing. With 300 tons of... Like, they're implying that... Alright, let's try it. I don't feel like this makes a ton of sense to me because I don't actually know how much one of these weighs, so we'll find out. Housebound Sanctus commands the entirety of our kingdom's industrial output. It directs the flow of trade throughout our kingdom. Every cog in the machinery of commerce, from the extraction of raw materials to the construction of finished products, is my concern. Of course, one could not expect a workforce of commerce to operate as a perfect unit. People made mistakes, people got injured, people got sick, sometimes people even died. Such were the flaws of man. There was no way around it. Ever since I understood the weakness of my flesh. At least that's what I'd always thought. You see, Arcane is the nation south of Weavengard. A small nation, dwarfed by the juggernaut that was our marvelous kingdom, but they were protected by the Ordo Australis, a peacekeeping organization that had every other nation in the world under its thumb. They were quite useful as allies, and one could purchase raw materials and products from them on the cheap. But I've been curious about how they could turn a profit while charging so low. I decided to travel there myself. I wanted to see what their secret was, and I saw it shook me more than anything else I'd ever seen. It was beautiful. It was perfect. I saw legions of workers, obedient beasts of burden. Every hand knew its task. Every foot knew where to stand. Every minute was measured. Supervisors always stood watch over them, like a noble lord overlooking their kingdom. They never needed to bark orders. They simply needed to remind everyone that there was always someone watching. Arcane was small, but its population was dense, so they're talking about England, I guess. Drove by large stone buildings that towered over anything I'd witnessed in Weavengard. So I guess Weavengard is France? Explains Lloyd's outfit. The people were packed next to each other. There was only enough room for them to breathe. There would never be enough for everyone, but that just kept the people hungry. It's only later that I realized this was part of the glorious design. Jobs were always available, and they were sold to the lowest bidder. Anyone who broke into the strain could easily be thrown away and replaced. You're actually not supposed to have jobs available. There was always someone else waiting, eager to take what they had. It was a grand symphony of efficiency. It was a marvelous machine that never stopped. These are actually very inefficient systems. In that moment, the moment I witnessed divinity itself, I knew that this was the future of industry. No, this was the future of humanity itself. I mean, he's not wrong, but it is actually a fairly inefficient method of doing things. Nothing I built in Weavengard could even compare to the utopia they created here. I spoke with their leaders. They told me about their plans. They told me about the arcane constructs, mindless machines that did everything they were told. They'd done the impossible. They'd improved upon perfection. We no longer needed the commoners in order to thrive. I would be the master of my own universe. You do realize that commerce doesn't work without people to purchase things. You really are a fool, aren't you, Von Sanctus? Why? Because you still believe I'd destroy my sages to spite your client? No, it seems your plan was far more insidious than that. I thought it over, and there's really no other explanation. You were really planning to do it, weren't you? You were planning to defend the city using a legion of arcane constructs. Is 300 tons of arcane constructs really that much? I feel like if you weighed, like, an actual army, like how much all the soldiers weighed, they would weigh more than 300 tons. Herc. Arcane constructs? Are you referring to those suits of armor at the Imperial Academy? That's correct, Your Honor. I have a shipping report proving that the witness received a large shipment of arcane constructs recently. And according to the harbor master, you've been receiving shipments like that for the last few months. So what if I have? I don't... His head whipped around the room, first to the gallery and then to the Grand General himself. Lucio quietly narrowed his eyes at him. Von Sanctus practically flinched at his glare. You filthy little upstart, you're going to ruin everything. Your Grace? So it is true then. The Duke's teeth were so clenched that they might shatter. Apparently 300 tons of arcane constructs is a shitload of arcane constructs. Okay, fair enough. I thought that would actually be a small number. His breath was practically oozing the vitriol that he wanted to throw at me. You're not going to be the one who undoes me, not you. It's about time someone taught you your place, you little rat. I'm ready when you are, Von Sanctus. Come and lose another match. Argument. You think I was planning to use those constructs for combat? I was merely, I was going to use those constructs for labor. I was planning to use those constructs to work in my factories. Yes, that's it. The problem is, like, he himself mentions he didn't actually own many of the factories. What am I looking for here specifically? Can I save here? Doesn't look like it. Damn, okay. He said he doesn't own any factories. Does that actually show up anywhere? People? We use the 4 pillar families. Okay, not that. Does this say that this guy owns all the factories? He doesn't own all the factories, though. Okay, what am I looking for here? Okay, I looked it up because I can't really figure out what they're asking me here, but apparently it's this, which doesn't actually say anything about what the hell I'm supposed to be talking about. We'll find out if this does anything. You don't own any of the factory. That doesn't show up in there. What jobs could you have them possibly have them fill? I have other cities in which I do business. Then why would you import and keep them in Arnax? I know that you plan to use those constructs as part of the labor force, but you'd only be able to do that after your bomb destroyed the factories that were already there. It was a pretty good plan, Von Sanctus. I'm almost surprised you came up with it. You would stage an attack in your city, use your legion of constructs to restore order, and then use them as a labor force to rebuild the damage. Selling your constructs nationwide would have been so easy after a demonstration like that. It was more than that, wasn't it, Lloyd? Arya, constructs follow orders. They're not vulnerable to disorganization as chaos of living soldiers. They'd be less likely to commit the atrocities my father's been allowing to happen in the countryside. With the recent use, you'd have the perfect opportunity to use those constructs to encroach on the Steel One's domain. That's preposterous. Completely and utterly preposterous. We don't actually know if they're any good at combat, though, so I don't actually know how viable that even is, but there is no conspiracy. These insurrectionists are real. You have nothing that ties me to Justin. What proof do you have what I was working with the boy anyway? Everything he's been doing has nothing to do with me. Like, I've got this, but, like, I'm not sure if this is the one I'm supposed to actually use, per se, but we'll give it a... it's either this, or it's going to be this. I want to look up which of those two it is. It's either the goddamn cat or it's this thing. No, apparently I'm wrong. It's neither of those. It's the ring, which makes no sense to me. So, like their justification is that like this is a really expensive ring, which, you know, fine, but I don't. Is it so expensive that literally he's the only one that could afford it? What about this ring, Von Sanctus? It was a crucial tool in many of Justin's robberies. But what about it? You can't tie that ring to me. It's fitted with artificeries a lot more advanced than what was available to the public. Only Pillar family would have access to... I don't know that that's true, but okay. Surely that's conjecture at best. Maybe, but it still points to the fact that someone of high status was involved. Yeah, it does prove that. He was working with insurrectionists. Justin was loyal to the insurrectionists. Those dissidents are crafty, and they're all over Weavengard. That boy was one of them. He was working hand in hand with them. Okay, well, we've got pretty okay evidence that says otherwise there. It's probably this. What? This is the same damn thing. I've just was truly working with... I didn't even check that one. I knew it had to be something related to this, but god damn it. Justin was truly working with these insurrectionists, then why did he rob so many of them? Well, not only did he rob them of all their possessions, his robberies revealed them to the authorities. Do you seriously think he'd do that to the very people he was working with? Then he must have betrayed them. He was in massive debt, wasn't he? He must have become desperate and took whatever he could use to pay those off. How do you know about Justin Wayne's debts? I merely inferred it. It's not uncommon for peasants to overextend themselves financially. Right. I don't have to prove anything to you. That boy is desperate, and both of us know it. Justin took every opportunity he could to pay off his debts. He was a thieving rat. He had loyalty to no one. He would betray anyone to pay off his debts. Strictly speaking, I don't think that that's wrong. What am I even trying to prove here? Because I don't disagree with that. Do I have the thing that says that he didn't actually take the money from that guy's account there? Because he didn't take the money from the safe, and that would actually be counter evidence of that. In this case, he is taking the more valuable thing there. He didn't hit that one at all, so like the fact that he missed it is one thing or another. That one makes sense. They would skip that one. No. Oh, they didn't steal the golden... Okay, so it's this one. I guess it's just this one twice. Except there was one person he clearly didn't betray Von Sanctus. When he entered my client's office, he successfully broke into the safe. He had every opportunity to take the gold there, but he chose not to. So he had a crisis of conscience. So what? You're trying to paint Justin Wayne as some kind of heartless criminal who supported the insurrectionists. However, that's completely contradicted by his own actions. He had no idea about the fact that he was planting evidence of insurrection with the homes of his targets. He had no idea that he'd be planting a bomb in the refinery using your ring. And he had no idea that the person telling him to do these things was you, Lloyd Von Sanctus. Duke's eyes nervously shot around the courtroom. He looked like a cornered animal. Every eye was on him. He could have denied everything, but his nervous indignation had betrayed what he'd done. There's no evidence, Mr. Cuthbert. What? There's no evidence that actually proves he was involved with this. You only have the ring, and that won't be concrete enough. That's right. There's no evidence tying me to that boy. Steelwind, what are you doing? You can't indict someone with this little evidence, especially not a duke. If I were to bring this to trial, it would never hold. Ha, you're completely right. You don't have any evidence against me. I made sure to cover all my tracks. But everyone here knew he'd do it. It was written all over his face moments ago. He was going to blow up half the city just so he could sell some constructs. Countless lives would have been lost. After all that, was he seriously going to get away with this? Come on, there had to be something. There was always something. They always leave something behind. But he was careful about this. He kept his distance from Justin, used Violetta to deliver his communications. The only reason that I found out was my ability to talk to animals, and it's not as if I could prove that either. There's only one move I had left. Ha, glaring like that is unbecoming of you, boy. Again? There had to be something left behind, some sort of mistake he made. He was really careful about this. I just had to hold out hope that he'd slip up somehow. Alright, I guess we're doing this one again. Send a message. Okay. For the duration of the spell, the caster projects their voice to communicate with the target. Anyone within 30 feet of radius of the target can hear the caster's voice. The caster can also hear sounds close to the target, allowing for two-way communication. The target must be a person known to the caster. That person must also be conscious, otherwise the spell will fail. Alternatively, the target can be an object that is attuned with the caster's magic. Conjuration, Malum, duration of an hour, no concentration. I never actually met that boy in person. I just used Violetta to see him. Damn it all, send message wouldn't leave any evidence. There's also conjuration spell. Those traces were all on Justin because of the ring. Von Sanctus planned for this. Could they use the ring in any way? No, that ring may be advanced, but it can't be tied to me. I commissioned it anonymously, and an artificer that made it has already returned to Arcaris. Even if they did know who he was, they would never have enough time or evidence to extradite him here. He had the ring manufactured in a way that couldn't be tied to him. How long had he been planning this? Okay. This one? I had no choice but to have the constructs pass through the border officially. It would have been impossible to move that much cargo into Ornax secretly. There's nothing left for me to use. Nothing there for me to use. Luckily for me, the container was already abandoned on the beach. I cast magic through Violetta to transport the container to the house. Then when that boy placed the crystal inside the chest, I used Violetta to move the bomb into place. Of course, that bomb was constructed personally. I was sure to use only materials that the boy stole. To anyone else, it would look like he constructed that bomb. He had Justin do everything. He didn't even place the bomb himself, he just teleported into the house using Violetta somehow. And the chest was already covered in traces of conjuration magic. He was careful about this. No, he'd accounted for everything. You can ruminate all you want. There's nothing you can do. Face it, boy, you've lost. Wasn't naive enough to think I'd be able to win every case, but I never imagined that I'd lose an important one like this. Was I really going to lose, though? Source of my power is the everlasting support of the Dracogen Trading Company. They're pretty small. They're only operating Arnox right now. But I hear they're planning to expand their operations through Weavengard. Mr. Tudor, I believe you run a cafe in the food district. This food cafe would not exist without the generous patronage of the defendant. You must feel quite indebted to him, after all. He saved you from a life, the kind of life you lived before. I didn't trust it at first, but Dracogen's idea really took off. Finally, having said things has been great for the workers in the city. Wait, the workers' unions were Stefan Dracogen's idea? I've seen how this kingdom treats those at the bottom of society. Those without are treated like tools, worked by their employers until they break and need to be replaced. It's a simple thing, really. When you keep your employees happy, they perform better. That pays itself forward. I created the first workers' unit with Noah to allow workers to better advocate for themselves. Let's see it's a precedent for employees of other companies to do the same. Dracogen is doing a lot of good and setting an example for others to follow. The entire reason why I took this case was to defend him. Somehow I lost sight of that. Tell me, Von Sanctus, do you truly believe that Justin Way's death was my client's fault? Well, it certainly wasn't my fault. That wasn't what I asked. Do you believe that the guardrail broke because of my client's negligence or because of Justin's rings? He stayed silent for a while. It was obviously because of Dracogen's negligence. After all, there's no proof that Justin's attempted to activate that ring. What about the trace of conjuration magic on the container? Any number of conjuration spells could have been cast on it. And the rail-shaped indents on the container? A coincidence. That container could have come from anywhere. There's no definitive proof that the container broke the guardrail. Oh, shit. Text log. Oh, well, whatever. What am I looking for here? There's a couple things that it could be, and I'm not really sure which one it is. The... Justin grabbed Viola's collar shortly before he activated the ring. We found half of this collar lodged in the container. Justin dropped the other half before he fell into the vat. Do you recognize this collar, Von Sanctus? That's Violetta's collar. I was wondering where it had disappeared to. Oh, that was a bad move on his part. Violetta? That's the name of the Duke's cat, Your Honor. And what? Do you think you can implicate me just because my cat was at the scene of the... Well, I thought this was just going to prove that Dracogen was innocent of negligence, but apparently... More interested in where both halves of the collar were found. Halves? This collar is really unique. It even has a name engraved into this leather. Which raises one question. Was one half of this collar dropped by Justin, while the other half was found lodged in the chest containing the bomb? What? As you very well know, Justin activated the ring, but the spell failed to fully switch this position with the bombs. But before he did that, he grabbed Viola's collar. I'm not sure what exactly happened, but the failed teleportation must have split his collar in half. One half remained in Justin's grasp, while the other half was lodged in the chest that briefly disappeared. This proves one indisputable fact. That Justin did activate the ring, causing the metal container to briefly appear on the guardrail and break apart. The death of Justin Wayne was not a result of my client's negligence. So what? That doesn't prove my involvement in anything that happened. That doesn't matter. My job is and always has been to defend and acquit Dracogen from your false charges. I may not be able to win this time, but neither will you. Despite your best efforts, my client will continue to operate in Arcane. So with that said, I'll settle for a stalemate. Does the prosecution have any rebuttals to the defense's claims? We do not. Then the court sees no reason to prolong this trial any further. How typical. You truly are a rat, scrounging at whatever scraps you can scrape together. My client is safe now, that's all that matters. Is his delusion contagious or something, or are you just trying to cope with your loss? I've seen how much Arnax has changed because of his actions. There's significance to that. All you've seen is our society take one small step closer to anarchy. I love anarchy. No matter, he's just one man. It won't be long before he's forgotten. I exhaled deeply, the weight of this trial finally off my shoulders. Out of every case I defended, this was easily the most stressful one. But I didn't know if I could consider this a victory. I still couldn't believe I just let Von Sanctus get away with this. Was there anything I could have done differently? Hey, don't look like that. I know you wanted to bring the Duke to justice, but you did a good thing today. No, what I really wanted was revenge. Don't be like that. You did a good thing. Dracogen can continue operating in Arnax, and Rika gets to keep her cafe. For now, Von Sanctus isn't going to take this lying down. He's bound to try something else once the publicity dies down. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Dracogen. He may be acquitted in the eyes of the justice system, but the court of public opinion is a different thing entirely. Also, the court of the general is going to whoop his ass. Alright, everyone saw how he was acting. He may not have proved it in the legal sense, but it was obvious to everyone that he'd done. I'm sure word will spread. Is that really enough, though? He should be locked up after what he tried to do. I don't disagree with you, but there's something to be said about where his true power lies. Are you talking about his position? Not his position, but his image. People like Lloyd thrive on making the common folk feel powerless. He needs people to believe that there's nothing they can do in the face of his influence. Today you revealed Lloyd for what he truly is, a weak and desperate fool blinded by greed. His eyes will keep him at distances, and enemies will jump at the opportunity. His days are numbered. There is some truth to his words. Prosecutor Steelwind. Seems that my father had some suspicions about what was happening. But even he never considered Von Sanctus to be the mastermind behind this. It's really unlike him. We all underestimated what he was capable of. You were trying to help me catch him, weren't you? That's why he kept drawing out the trial. I obviously can't confirm or deny that. But I did think that if anyone would reveal the crimes, it would be you, Mr. Cuthbert. Perhaps I was being too hopeful. Don't sell yourself short. As I said, there's value in how you appear in the public as well. You've been standing your ground against the nobility, you even challenged the Duke this time around. I've seen it throughout the kingdom. You've lit a flame to those who might have lost hope. I really wouldn't go that far. Don't underestimate the light of inspiration. It may start from a single ember, but it can spread to all those who are willing to accept it within themselves. No one can stop a flame like that once it starts. Not you, not me, not even the king himself. That's why I started the Workers' Union, so I want to show people that our society could become something better. It's definitely hopeful, and after everything that had happened, I could use a bit more hope. I just need to keep doing what I was doing. The future would show us how true Dracogen's words were. I still felt uneasy. Even if Von Sanctus would lose power, a cornered animal was the most dangerous one. You filthy rat, I will have words with you. Oh, speak of the devil. Hey, back off. It's fine, I can handle him, Celeste. So, what's so important, Your Grace? There's no arcane spell in the world that can intercept communications between a mage and their familiar. What did you do to Violetta? A familiar? Don't be coy with me, boy. I saw you speaking with her. That is not any of your concern, Lloyd. Lucio. I suggest you stop harassing Mr. Cuthbert, lest you be suspected of coercion. So that's what this was. He's one of yours. This isn't over, Lucio. This is far from over. Duke of Commerce left in a huff, grumbling to himself. Narrowed my eyes at the Grand General. For the first time, he wasn't surrounded by his knights. He was speaking about familial bond. What? Whatever Annalie spoke with was Lloyd Sanctus's familiar. Yeah, I mentioned that. Familial bond, divination, return, none until either target dies. Caster forms a magical unbreakable bond with the target creature, connecting them to the caster's magic. While this bond exists, the caster can telepathically communicate with target over any distance. The caster can also choose to see through the target's eyes as long as they concentrate. Any spells that affect the caster will also affect the target creature and vice versa. Lastly, the caster can also cast spells from the location of the target creature instead of their own location. So that's how he was speaking with Violetta. It was just an arcane spell. That just raised another question. How do you know that I spoke with this familiar? An educated guess. You can speak to all animals, can you not? I blinked at him. What is the theocracy planning here? The theocracy? Are you talking about the kingdom west of us? Don't play games with me. I'm no fool. I'm not. I have no idea what you're talking about. And why are you able to use Luminian magic? What? You possess the Eye of Radiance, the ability to read the minds of others. I eyed him warily. He seemed to know more about the Eye of Horus than I did. Like I said before, I read the transcripts of your past cases, and what you did to me during the final first session all but proved it. The theocracy of Lumina was the nation west of us, and Weavengard's most hated enemy. I didn't know much about them, and any written information about them was heavily controlled by the kingdom. I'm not an agent of the theocracy, Lucio. Perhaps, perhaps not. So what, are you going to have me executed for treason? Considering what's been happening lately, I doubt that would be a good look for you. Just the opposite, you are now going to be my agent. What? There will come a day where I'll require your skills and abilities. The Eye of Radiance is too powerful a weapon for me to squander. I imagine it will be of great use to me. And if I refuse, then I will treat you just like any other foreign agent. Be ready. I imagine the day I call upon you will come sooner rather than later. In fact, right now, come with me. Celeste rushed over to me as soon as the Grand General left. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. He didn't hurt you, did he? What did he say? I think he's forcing me to work for him? What? I'm about to make him an offer he can't refuse. He knew about the Eye of Horus, so it's supposedly related to the theocracy, Weavengard's greatest rivals. After what I learned in the last few months, I figured there must exist other types of magic. I never considered that there might be an entire nation of people with abilities like mine. No wonder I couldn't find any information on the Eye of Horus. Weavengard heavily curated any information about Lumina. I guess it doesn't matter. It's a problem for later. I'll talk to Ari about this. She might be able to help. We're actually heading to a tavern. Do you want to come with? No, I'm going to go see Rika. She'll want to know what happened. Alright. Don't cause too much trouble for her. She's dealing with a lot. Hey, I never cause trouble. Of course. May have come with a side of caution, but the Grand General did give me another lead on the Eye of Horus. I need to talk to Mr. Moore about this. We might be able to dig up more information about this theocracy and its magic. Your Grace, you have a visitor. I thought I told you not to. I wanted to be left alone. What idiot, Lloyd? William, you absolute moron. It's not what it looks like. They couldn't even prove anything. Doesn't matter. Even a child could have told that you were guilty. We needed those constructs to cripple Lucio's hold in the military, and now those bloody things are attached to your accursed name. Do you have any idea how difficult it would be to sell these things to the House of Lords now? Enough. Your house will soon be in shambles. I have a plan that will at least allow us to salvage what's left. Salvage? And then they murdered him. Who the hell's this? I take her. This is a bit anticlimactic, isn't it? What is it? What is, Father? I see that it runs in the family. Okay. I was really counting on all hell breaking loose in the city. Either old Lloyd would succeed or Lucio would suss him out and take his head in a bloody spectacle. Ruby's kid really pulls through to a fault, doesn't he? Everything ended too peacefully. He does tend to do that, doesn't he? I get the feeling like she's actually more in charge than he is. We don't even have Justin to show for all our trouble. I was really betting on him entering the fold with us. It's a pity he was taken from us too soon. Don't worry, we still have Frega on our side. Yeah, we'll just have to put the final piece on her. Her? The young Frega? Works with them? Interesting. I walked into the cafe again. I was coming after the lunch rush. There weren't that many people here. Spot her talking to one of her employees. Check the inventory and tell me if we're running low on anything. I don't want to scramble around like last week. Tyrion. Everyone's talking about what happened. Seems the Duke of Commerce was no match for the Lightsworn Monarch. What's that look for? You did win, didn't you? It's a bit more complicated than that. Scaled Lord, I know. Is that really all we are to people like him? Yes. So many people could have gotten hurt. I looked pretty close to the industrial district. I could have been caught in that explosion. Yeah, probably. Can't imagine what would happen if Justin had never decided to rebel against Von Sanctus. Did he really do that, though? What? Do you really think he was rebelling against the Duke? Maybe he just decided to teleport on that catwalk instead of the office. I thought you believed in him more than anyone else. I did, but did I really know anything about him? He was different after he served a sentence. Not worse, just different. I never knew he had debts to a criminal overlord. I never knew what actually happened to him in those dungeons over those years. He never wanted to talk about it. I'd read a lot of stories about what happened in the dungeons throughout Weavengard. Couldn't imagine what must have gone through in there. It was my fault he went through that. I should have never let him take the fall for me. Don't say that. He made his own decisions, and that decision was to protect you. Justin stole everything he could. He didn't care. I don't know. This one again. He had every reason to take the golden Dracogen safe, but he left it there. He didn't know about those documents were used for, but he knew that taking that gold would harm Dracogen. He left it despite everything he was doing. He still had gratitude and respect towards Dracogen. I guess that makes sense when you put it that way. Thanks. I know it's been a while, but if you ever need to talk, I'm here. And that ended another chapter of my life as an attorney. I swore that I'd never return to Arnax. I thought I needed to keep the past behind. But coming back here is exactly what I needed to start burying what happened all those years ago. I honestly still felt an indignant fury towards the Duke. I didn't think I'd ever forget what he had planned for the city. But I wasn't alone anymore. I had Miss Tamora, I had Celeste, and I had my friends in Arnax. I didn't need to carry all of this by myself. In that moment, thinking back to the night Celeste comforted me, I realized something. I think I have feelings for her. What? I stood up from my seat, my eyes wide in terror, the migraine reunited with a vengeance. Skid Lord, I think I have feelings for Celeste. Oh, shit. That's great, Tyrion. Yeah, I feel for you. Is that great? I don't actually know what the deal is between you two. She's my coworker, Rika. Yeah, but you're obviously more than that. You're friends, at least. I never even considered romantic relationships until now. We spent a lot of time together anyway. What would even change if we went down that route? Humans entered romantic relationships to fulfill emotional needs and engage in intimacy, both of which enrich the lives of both parties. Thinking about the intimacy was very distracting. I need to focus on something else. Rika, what do I do? Tyrion, I've known her for 3 days. You really need to give me more to work with. Well, I guess I'll start a few months ago. I met her at a tavern. She introduced herself with a joke about... Wait, I don't remember that at all. What? Made more sense the way she said it. I don't remember that at all. Okay, let's just start with something simple. How did she start working as your bodyguard? Oh, that's a bit of a long story, too. Got some hours to kill before the dinner rush, tell me. So go through the whole thing. Origins Horus completed. Okay. Need a little bit of help with some of these parts because they were rough, but you know. Alright, so that's the end of that chapter. Let me go ahead into the menus here and save, since it is now a new chapter, and we are going to call it for today, because like I said, I am busy today. So I don't really know what my schedule is going to be like going for next week or whatever, but apparently we're in the courthouse lobby already. So yeah, like, I'll probably still be here Monday, Wednesday. I might have shifty hours though. Like I might not be around on Monday. I might not be around Wednesday, depending on what's going on. So if I miss a couple streams, just know that I'll be back. You know, I'm just doing some stuff. But yeah, in any event though, I have got somewhere I got to be in about 20 minutes. So yeah, hope you found this one enjoyable. Hope to see you guys all next time.